back to you in the studio.
No, and one.
And one. All right.
Oh, what? I gotta clean this bed off. There's so much shit on it.
I'm gonna close my door real quick before we start recording.
Okay.
I keep forgetting this is on the bed.
Dare I ask?
Do you remember Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Do you remember this?
Yeah, I do. Awesome.
He wasn't even here for it. Where's the... It's like layered like it was in the episode for the different one. So you can flip them around. Tell me that the biggest thing you've ever seen.
Whoa!
I'd like to remind everyone watching that this is an explicit stream.
Well, it is now.
Yeah. Hopefully that doesn't get us kicked off Twitch. I should probably read the terms of service a little more closely.
Not a bad idea.
You can't show a fictitious cock.
I don't know. I didn't really read the terms.
Well, you can't say like, balls on regular TV, so...
That's true. Alright, you guys ready to start recording this?
Wait. Sorry. I gotta switch. Yes. I'm ready.
Hello to everybody in the chat.
I hope no girls are watching.
Come on, we're all adults here. We've all seen it before.
Yeah, we have.
We've all seen a cartoon dick before.
Yeah, that's the thing that's happening.
Fake wiener.
Oh, good times.
God.
Alright, you guys ready to... You guys got your recording stuffs up?
I'm writing it down just so I'm not an idiot. And I think that was the last one was... Oh, yeah. D2.
There is mine.
And... Wow. I want to make sure my phone's down. Oh, Duke's my tablet. Hold on. I'll be back.
I'll have another piece of chocolate then.
Oh, hey, E1M1 Network just went live on Twitch. Thanks.
That we did.
Yeah, so there's really no way to pull these Walking Dead stats back up. I just logged into the Telltale site and looked at the stats, and it's just general. It doesn't give you anything specific.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Did you share show notes this week?
I believe so.
I just haven't checked it.
Let me look.
Did you get that invite for that reunion thing?
Yeah, and I sort of felt like outright declining it. Because I'm like, well, I can't go back to Ohio for a mini college reunion because I'm in California.
So
I didn't even know people did that stupid thing.
Well, I'd be okay with it if it was like a proper reunion. But I don't think we're... Is it our 10 year?
No, I don't know. It's people I haven't spoken to since I've left.
When did I graduate? 2003?
I thought we were still in school. Oh, yeah. It was
Okay, yeah, it is 10 years. Wow, that snuck up on me. So yeah, that's a little disappointing that our 10-year college reunion is sort of like, I don't know, we're gonna go to a bar?
Yeah, Fox and Hound will go shoot some pool.
And I like the Fox and Hound, but I'm not gonna spend a lot of money to fly 2,500 miles to hang out with a bunch of people I didn't like in the first place.
That's why I felt the same way. I looked at the people that were invited. I was like, who is that?
Yeah, that was my favorite part of looking at the list. I'm like, I don't know half of these. Did I graduate with? Were they at my college?
Yeah, like what's his name? Like the second I got that invite, 2 seconds later, I got a friend request from Justin Allen.
Yeah, I did too. I was just like, the what now?
I was like, oh yeah, that was it. Me or that dude just rubbed you the wrong way?
I don't want to get sued for libel, so I'm probably not going to say on the live stream. But maybe.
I don't know. Just something about him just sent like heebie-jeebies. I don't know. He just seemed like a creep.
That's me with pretty much all human beings. So it's not that specific person. I don't get along with people in general, which is why we're live streaming and doing a podcast. Good times.
You're an artistic shut-in, Boston.
Yeah. You won't understand my art. You'll never understand.
My brand.
My brand.
But yeah,
yeah, I won't be going.
I need to get you. I need to get you some stuff though in Borderlands.
Yeah. Now that I have my internet connection secured again to my 360, I need
I get hacked.
No, remember we were talking about the wireless BS last week? Yeah, I resolved all that. So.
Oh my god, so I tried to run conduit through my air ducts at my house.
Oh boy.
And I was just trying to feed cat. That's obscene. Trying to feed cat 5 cable.
This is a family show, sir, please. We can only show cartoon phalluses.
Not hand illustrations.
Yeah.
No, so I was trying to feed cat 5 cables. I want to get a hard line over that and set up an access point on that side of the house for like a super strong signal.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm figuring, like, okay, I know the air duct runs through here. I didn't know what else snaked around underneath the house.
Oh, jeez.
So I get it in there. I'm like, shit, I hit like a wall. Like, it hit a turn, but it was too stiff. It can't make the turn.
Mm-hmm.
So I pull it back. And apparently, I got a mouse in the process. I came back and there's a mouse like wedged into it. I'm like,
amazing. Well, you know, now your ducks are a little bit cleaner.
Oh man, I felt like ass. I had my night vision goggles like in there trying to look down to see what's.
Tell me it was your Call of Duty night vision
Absolutely
goggles.
It was.
Nice. Hey, you gotta find a use for them eventually.
Oh man.
Yeah, except they only see about 3 feet.
If there was ever a reason to watch the live stream, I think we've proven what it is this week.
Gotta give them a little extra for showing up, right?
Yeah.
That's true. That is very true.
When Knobs has a plans, hijinks ensues.
Yep.
Now I'm gonna get up in the attic, and I can't wait to see what's up there because I hear something crawling around up there. It sounds pretty big.
It's gonna be like a mongoose.
Oh my god! If it's a raccoon, I hope it's not a skunk.
Oh god.
Oh, that's the worst.
Just buy tomato juice now because you know it's gonna be.
Dude, tomato juice doesn't work. I swear to God.
Oh really?
My dog got sprayed in high school. Not once, not twice, 3 times. This dumbass dog got sprayed by a skunk.
You think you would have learned?
And every time it was like at like 5 o'clock in the morning before my dad was going to work, and he'd come in and was like, "Wait, we're still live stream, right?"
Yes.
All right. He would like I would hear it, and he's like, "Motherfucker!" And he was like, "Wake up and fucking handle this." I'm going to work. And the dog would just run up, get under my bed, and so the first time I tried that the tomato juice, it made it worse.
Oh god.
I don't like the smell of tomato juice anyway.
Oh.
And so I'm there in the tub, and I pour tomato juice on, and I'm like rubbing it around, and I was like all over. I just threw up all over the dog.
It's like a Farrelly Brothers movie.
I'm
Oh
like,
God.
at this point, the smell is so bad. I don't know what to do. I can't let her out of the bathroom.
No.
So I hosed her off, locked the doors of the bathroom so she couldn't get out. Went to the store, stinking. Granted, the principal's like called the house. He's like, dog gets sprayed by skunk. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I hung up the phone on him. That was a pretty interesting conversation the next morning. Like he calls me into the office. He's like, so what, dude? It's exactly what I told you. The
Yeah,
dog got sprayed with the
wasn't
skunk.
lying.
Throwing up. Here, smell my fingers.
Not something you can usually get away with saying to the principal of your school.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it almost got me suspended.
Ooh.
But I don't know. Clearly, I don't know when to shut up sometimes.
Super Hungry in chat says, sup. Thanks for joining us, Super Hungry, from across the pond. Whatever time it is there, it's probably late as hell.
Yeah.
Let me see. I got show notes up. What you've been playing down. I'm good to go.
You have as 21:30 p.m. Thank you, sir.
So
Alright, you guys both got your recording shizzes up?
you.
Yes.
Alright. Let's start recording here in 3, 2, 1, record. Pants, 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 pants.
Aloha. Hey, there
Walking on sunshine. Whoa.
Whoa.
I hate my life.
You're looking good.
I'm recorded and ready to roll.
Alright, let's
Skype still has like this little. What is it? An exclamation? It's a 1. I don't know what this 1 is in my Skype thing.
Oh, it's... If you look at the don't do it while we're recording, since we're already set up. If you look at the conversations for this call, it should have said that I invited you to a conference. Because the 1 means you have, like, a message sitting there.
Okay. That solves that problem.
Oh, it just went away.
Ta-da.
Oh.
Alright.
Alright, we got a lot of recording to do today, so you guys ready to kick this off?
Yeah, let's hunker down.
Where do we throw batteries away?
Doesn't...
You don't...
Can't you go to, like, Office Max or Best Buy, and they have, like, a little bin?
Yeah, usually.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. They have, like, one for phones and one for batteries.
I want to be a little more, whatchamacallit. I don't want to...
Environmentally conscious?
Yeah. So I've been tearing through my house since... Anyway, so I've been rounding up things that don't belong.
Right.
And I have found 4 contractor bags of X shit.
Crazy.
Fun.
I had no idea. Because the new girl's not too fond of that.
Understandably.
I could see that being a problem.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, at first I didn't think it was a big deal. But no,
You were incorrect, sir.
No, I was wrong. And
Very wrong.
yes.
Yeah.
Alrighty,
Before I get any more loose.
yeah. You guys ready to start?
Yep, let's roll.
Alright, starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Over there's Knobs.
Hello.
And over there's the Hannah.
Hi, everybody.
If for some reason you have never watched the live stream, there is probably no better live stream to watch than this one. Unless you are offended by...
Oh, that's right. We record that, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Oh no, I thought
Yeah.
it was gonna be a one-off and just be a legend.
No. Nope.
Nope.
This legend
There's
got recorded.
proof of what happened, sir.
Stuff happened. Things got weird.
Well, I'm glad I'm happy where I work.
Yep. All right, let's get into what you've been playing, Knobs.
Alrighty, well, as usual, Monday night, please come and join us for Monday Night Game Night, Left 4 Dead 2. We had a five-some to start with. Scott was feeling a little under the weather, so we kind of cut it off early, and our scorekeeper was out for the night, so it ended up being a 2v2, which it got kind of rough there for the other team. I think we ended up beating them by a G.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
But in all fairness, we were Deviant Prinny and myself were pretty on our game that night. So
Nice. Somebody had sent TVGP on Twitter a message about, how can how can you join up on Monday Night Game Night? There is a thread in the forums. Also, you can shoot knobs and invite. It's just jknob33 on live. And I think there's also still that account,
TVGP
Friends. Yeah, that has all of us listed. So if you look at friends of TVGP Friends, then you can see...
Follow that rabbit hole down, you'll find something.
Yeah, I think it has all the TVGP hosts.
It's still
past and present.
It's still ran by MIA Moonpeer.
Yeah.
So hopefully he signs on enough to check it out.
Yeah.
So
you got a couple places. I'll try and be better about putting that stuff on the sidebar here pretty soon, and make sure I put the time zone calculator for everyone. So.
Oh yeah, they got that cool little thing. You see that for the shift codes? Like you hit it. What time is it where I am? In case you can't do the math.
That's the site I was looking for, because I knew some site had been like, "What time is that?" And you click it, and it just shows all of them. Now I know where to steal that from. I mean, take inspiration from.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Sweet. So yeah, so that was a good time as always. I think Tomsy and I forgot might have been Donnie. Maybe Donnie was there. I don't remember. I really should write this down because it was only a week ago.
You can just say the Purple Cowboy was always there in spirit.
Always. Easy, honey. Alrighty, play some more Lollipop Chainsaw. Just kind of going through and unlocking everything in it because the game's just stupid fun to play. And
I got my copy this week, and I think I'm gonna play that next because I
won't take you.
Yeah, and I think I need that palate cleanse. You know, I need like a short, dumb game to just kind of button mash a little bit.
I kind of think you'll kind of love this game.
I think so.
Because I went into it like before, like I only played like the prologue, and at that point all the combos and stuff were locked, and I really didn't restart it again until recently, and I was like, you know what, I'm having a lot of fun. Oh my god, I'm having a blast. I'm laughing, the stupid jiving and dancing zombie dude with the boyfriend's head and stuff. That doesn't happen until a little bit later, so don't expect that for the first couple times you use it.
Right.
But zombie basketball and zombie baseball are awesome.
But it's real. I get the sense that the humor is really tongue in cheek. It never takes itself seriously, right?
It's the game you expect from those developers. It does not disappoint.
Yeah.
But yeah, so played some more of that. Played some more DOA 5 today with Seven Hender, and we're to the point where we're so deep in each other's heads on how we're fighting. We're spending more time thinking of what the opponent's gonna do than trying paying attention to what we're doing. Man, it's just...
I really got to hop in there and start playing.
Because at some points we have like our timing and our rhythms down to the point where we're sitting there, we're doing the same thing to each other that we think we're doing.
Yeah.
So a lot of, grab, grab. Like, what are we doing? We're ridiculous.
Are you guys playing tonight?
We played this afternoon. He's in Germany, so he's probably in bed by the time you're up.
Okay.
Probably last week would have been the week because he was on vacation. We were up late. But I'm down. I love that game. Yeah. I'll play that game forever. It's the netcode is unbelievable.
I think they just improved it too with this latest patch that's coming out.
Nice.
Dude, did you see that? Talk about a patch.
Yeah.
That is the biggest balance list I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Usually one or two characters get, but they balanced the entire roster.
Yeah.
Improved everything across the board. Added features. Added an island.
They added a whole level. It's like, here you go. It's free. Whatever.
Nice.
I mean, and it actually seems like it was one of those games like DOA 4, just kind of left out the pasture.
Yeah. That was weird about DOA 4 too. I don't think it got any patches.
No, I didn't get anything to fix any latency issues or online netcode, and at least this time they seem like, you know what, we're actually kind of proud of this, and we're gonna make it better.
Yeah, the only thing that could make it better is Sombrero Fish.
Oh, dude, that lobby system. That's the only thing, honestly, the only complaint about the game.
Yeah.
It doesn't have that ridiculous lobby.
I kind of miss it. I don't think many people really cared because you were just going to spectate the match anyway, but I feel the level of just stupidity in that. Like, oh, I'm a skeleton wearing a bow tie and glasses, and now I'm throwing my head.
Yeah,
I don't
now
know why.
I'm emoting stupid things, you know?
Yeah.
It just had no reason being there, and it was just funny.
Yeah, and, well, it was kind of cool being in a lobby with your friends and watching the fight happening all around you on these little TVs everywhere. And,
Yeah.
like, the winner's Xbox Live motto showing up on, like, the
In the
billboards
levels.
around and in the levels. And it's just like, you didn't need to do this, but it's kind of fun and kind of awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Yeah.
was kind of the thing. I was just like, wow. I mean, that has no reason being there. Like, I loved fighting in the arena, or it had listen at TVGP just scrolling around.
Yeah.
I was like, that is like the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we played some more of that, and it's good, and it's so much fun because it's just the playing off each other is where that game shines more than any other fighting game I think I've ever played.
Yeah, the mind
That-
games.
The
Yeah.
mind and the sequential to how you're attacking and whatnot, and just like
The
you're-
metagame, if you will.
Yeah.
there you go. It's a correct use for the term.
Well,
But-
in
Yeah,
a way that
surprisingly.
in a way that never feels like, it's easy to criticize something like Street Fighter when you can say like, oh, I got Shoto scrubs, or oh, I have flowchart Ken and that sort of stuff, but I feel like there aren't really any characters that are exploitable like that in DOA, and if somebody tries to start doing that, you can punish them really easily.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the thing, that anything you do in that game is either counterable or escapable. It's just a matter of you being good enough to catch it and read the move as it's coming at you.
Yeah.
And it's so incredibly deep, and it's a simplistic move set, and it's not all about frame counting, and that's the thing that I
Right.
love about it.
Yeah, it's never like, oh, I need to make sure that I only have a 3-frame opening as soon as they finish this super, and that sort of stuff.
It's the worst.
Or it's never anything like some of the old Mortal Kombat games. As much as we love them, you'll in DOA you'll never get stuck in a corner and just
Yeah.
keep get
Even-
trapped.
Even usually, if you're in a corner, I would call it like the trapped rat syndrome. He's
Yeah.
the most dangerous when his back is against the wall.
Exactly.
Because wall throws and wall counters are probably the most punishing moves in the game.
Yeah, they'll
yeah,
take
'cause
at
you get-
least. Oh, go ahead.
You do extra damage when you bounce them off of the environment in DOA, if I remember correctly.
You do
huge
way more damage.
Yeah.
Huge damage. Pretty much my only fighting gripe in it is your the ability to get juggled a lot more in this game.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
more attacks hit you on the ground than ever before.
Oh, interesting.
So like combos, like a lot of stumbles and stuff. Like for me, if I'm getting beat pretty bad and I can't grab a counter, I want to hit the ground and fight from the ground up.
Yeah.
This
just, like,
one
reset.
seems like a lot of characters like Akira and Helena just nickel and dime you to the point where you just don't fall down.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like they don't hit you hard enough to knock you down, but they do enough to keep you stumbled and off balance.
Interesting.
Now, is it like Virtua, or what's the one big Tekken? Is it like Tekken level juggling, or are you talking like
No.
Soul Calibur level juggling?
It's not even neither one of those.
Oh wow.
It's just sort of
It's-
like needling you, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's hard to explain. Like it's most of it's off the stumble. It's not like in Tekken where the guy's just sitting there rolling around in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you're stumbled and you take your step back, and as you're getting hit again, and you just don't hit the ground.
Yeah, because that's
Okay.
been always one of the hidden secrets of the DOA series is if you're on ice or if you're on water and you can get your opponent to start stumbling and sliding a little bit, you can chain them pretty seriously. And,
Yes.
But
Wow.
and a good player is going to try and avoid being in that situation. But man, sometimes if you can get people into that situation where you're on ice and they're sliding and you're just kind of jabbing them a little bit, and it feels pretty great.
And that's the funny
That's
thing
pretty
is
awesome.
it doesn't feel like an exploit. It feels like you're fighting on ice. And it's
Yeah.
just it's one of those
Nice.
weird things that they do with the animation is so crisp and just it never seems like it's cheap.
Right.
Like you totally like, all right, I'm slipping and sliding all over the place and I'm getting brutalized for it until you can get sure footing and put yourself back on the offensive.
Yeah.
And that's the one weird thing about the game is that doesn't matter if you're playing defense or offense, you're always offensive. Like, and if you sit there, if you turtle up, you're gonna get annihilated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta play more of that game.
But anyway, I got into the Dead Space 3 demo.
Oh, I meant to download that.
Oh man, it has been a while since I played Dead Space.
Yeah.
It is good. It is
Really?
really good. I can't wait. And part of the game that I didn't even realize was even in it, probably because I've been media blacked out on it, is the weapons crafting.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you can pretty much build ridiculous weapons to the point where you have 4 weapons equipped in 2 slots.
Ooh.
So like you can it starts off default. You have your little assault rifle gun and the force gun on one platform. So you have your distance attack, and then if they get too close, you can push them away with the force gun.
Nice.
I made a gun that was electrified double line guns.
Oh God.
The thing just opens up, and it's just like this wall of death moving out.
Jeez.
It is awesome.
So now, one of the biggest complaints that everybody's heard ever since E3 is, I know there's no co-op in it, but there's the other person. Does it still feel scary? Does it still feel tense?
You still feel on your own.
Yeah. It still feels like Dead Space?
Yes, it still feels like Dead Space while you're being attacked by the unitologist. And as
okay.
unitologists are dying, these little spider things creep up, and replace their head, and pick them back up.
Oh,
it is
God.
nuts.
That's frightening.
Woof.
God,
And you're
I
like,
can't wait
I'm
for
sitting
this
there watching his head move across the room. I'm like, what? No, it's not doing that.
game. Oh man.
I was like, oh man, I just killed like 20 of these guys. Oh, why are they all back up?
Oh, that's frightening.
And yeah, it was. I've totally forgot your stasis recharge and your health things are like on the face buttons, and I'm healing. I'm like, I didn't want to do that.
Oh yeah.
I keep forgetting that you can't be aiming down sights to stomp and do stuff. So I'm like using stuff like constantly. What are you doing? I did kind of get I kind of tempted to do this, just play through Dead Space 1 and 2 again ahead of this game coming out.
Yeah.
Nice.
And just get back in the Dead Space
The mindset.
instincts of that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm going to or not.
You could
Because
probably
I'll be tempted to do the impossible thing on Dead Space 2 and just infuriate.
Oh. Yeah, because I was about to say you could probably whip through both of those games pretty quickly on the easiest difficulty.
Yeah, I'd imagine like not much will be a threat, especially with that one armor equipped in the first one, and plus carrying your all the way leveled up weapons.
Yeah,
like right through. You should just be raining death.
that's true.
Let me see. I lost track of where I was. That. All right. So, anyways, I've been playing more Borderlands 2
Yeah.
ad nauseum at this point. I don't know what it is. I can't seem to take this game out. Like, it gets to the point where you're like, all right, I think I've got damn near every legendary weapon possible.
Right.
To the point where I have 4 characters. The other 3 of them already been leveled up to level 50 with their banks full of level 50 legendary items.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
To the point where I don't even know what I really want to do. And then we stumble across something new. Like we're exploiting the evil smasher exploit with the infinity pistol.
Mm.
So essentially what this is, you kind of got to get this timing down with reloading the evil smasher to the point where it's exploding, and it seems like it's crashing your game. The more lag you get in the explosions, the more powerful the other gun in your inventory becomes, because you like infect it. So it gets to the point where your actual infinity pistol is going to be 1 out of X number of bullets, to the point where it's going to be 100 bullets out of X number of bullets, but it's infinity, so it never goes down, so you never have to reload.
Mm-hmm.
What that is your bullet multiplier. So as you're building up these we're calling them stacks for lack of a better term.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're stacking this cycle, it's to the point where the highest I've gotten it has been 222, and it's doing 500k per bullet on the
Holy
infinity pistol.
crap.
And it's increased fire rate. So it gets to the point where you can't even see the barrel spinning anymore.
You're just dumping.
It's ridiculous. The amount of bullets this thing shells out is insane.
Wow.
But any game in your or any gun in your inventory is getting the same stack. So we were playing it with. We were doing it with one of the single shot sniper rifles are ideal for this, because once you reload, you start losing your stack like incrementally back down.
Right.
So you get to the point where you're maxed out on your sniper bullets. Just to give you an example, with the elephant gun in the newest DLC, which is like 46,000 damage, with the stacks, I did 500K damage on a
Jeez.
critical hit.
That's insane.
Just
That's too many numbers.
17.5 million damage in one shot.
That's too much.
Yeah.
It's
I think
ridiculous.
you beat the game.
Yeah.
As in, not like the final boss, but as in like the actual code of the game. I think you beat it.
He shot a hole through the planet.
It's like
Yeah.
700 gets his stacks up to like the 300s. And I don't know how he does it,
Wow.
but it's to the point where you're putting Hyperius down before he can spawn everything around him.
Right.
But what sucks is he's only 800. Even on playthrough 2, he's only 800 experience, so you can't milk him like you could flesh sticks. You just back
Right.
out of the room, he's right back, put him down. But it's great for Seraph crystals.
Yeah.
Like the one Seraph crystal shield I have is like the Hop Life, or whatever it's called. It's my shield capacity is 183,000,
Jeez.
and that's just a normal shield in the game.
Right.
That's awesome.
You're a rolling tank. At this now you're outfitted with this infinity pistol that shoots like a machine gun.
Yeah.
It is like just ridiculously quick, and you're just running through everything. Doesn't matter what's in front of you.
Wow.
Like now I can beat Terramorphous like you could with before they nerfed the B shield.
Yeah.
Like by the time he gets up to his peak, he's coming back down with loot. It's that simple.
Wow.
It's that simple. Let's talk about. I did download the newest DLCs, Sir Hammerlock's Big Game Hunt.
Yeah, my girlfriend and I
Yes.
downloaded that and started that last night.
It's pretty short.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty
also
short.
pretty tough if you don't have legendaries.
Yeah, I could imagine that was.
Yeah,
I think probably the reason why it's so short because we broke the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably.
We broke the game. I mean, I played through it on playthrough 1 because I just wanted to play with new guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we kind of had our fun with it. The missions, the story's funny. I don't want to spoil anything, but I like the end boss, and then the extra end boss. Kind of like it reminded me a lot of Zombie Island. Kind of how that went down,
Right.
but in the absolute opposite. So it's hilarious.
I am really disappointed that they haven't raised the level cap, because I am really feeling it in this DLC. Like, starting it and finishing quests and killing all these enemies and getting really nothing for it is really starting to take its toll.
I read an article that they're going to significantly, I don't remember where I saw it, that they're planning on increasing level cap through a patch.
Yeah.
And significantly increasing it, almost giving you a third playthrough.
That'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
I think that's the way it's going to go.
Because I, as much as the DLC seems fine, and as much as I love Borderlands 2, I kind of don't want to play it anymore until the patch comes out for a level cap.
Right now, I think the only fun in it is raiding.
Yeah, and that's I kind of don't have the time or the desire to do that. So for me,
Yes.
it's sort of like, maybe I'll just wait.
But here's the double-edged sword to like right now, like Seven and I do all this raiding like all the time, and we know the second that level cap comes up, all the stuff we've hoarded is worthless.
Yeah, exactly.
But then you'll have space for the new stuff.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get to do all this shenanigans again.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm torn on it, but
Yeah.
it's such a fun environment just to shoot things in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And it seems like every time we go in, there's something new. Like
Yeah.
we were farming Pyro Pete, and he dropped a gun we had never seen before.
Right.
Nice.
Like it's just well, all right. Let's see what this thing can do, and I can beat Pyro Pete in half a clip.
Yeah.
Now it's just ridiculous. I don't even have to worry about getting the pyro caustic thing, whatever he does.
Yeah.
Or because he'll be dead before it's doing me any damage.
Yeah.
So it seems like a lot of fun. So right now I'm hoarding the shift code keys and Seraph crystals. There is a hidden invincible in. Oh, did we talk about farming for the Norfleet? We did with Jive and a couple of his friends.
That doesn't sound familiar.
All right, so in oh man, I forgot the area with Tiny Tina.
Tundra Express?
Tundra Express, yes,
Yeah.
the Tundra Express area. There's an invincible that you apparently, if you catch it at the right time, that the Varkids will eventually spawn themselves into invincibles.
Yeah, that I don't remember what his name is, but apparently it can be pretty challenging to get.
Yeah, well, it's more of a time-based thing. It gets to the point where it gets to like the ultimate badass Varkid, and then it kind of gets stuck sometimes. You just reload the game, and then it comes back. The problem is that you're sitting there not killing anything, just kind of keep it engaged to the point where you're fighting off 2 to 3 invincibles.
Right.
Ooh.
But they don't go away when you respawn, so that's the only bonus to them, and their health doesn't regenerate.
Oh, good.
But man, they drop when we did it, they were dropping Norfleets every time, so we have one of each. And the damage on the Norfleet rocket launcher, it's a E-Tech weapon. It's 223,000 times 3.
That's a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's putting down everything around it, and its splash damage is ridiculous.
Jeez.
To the point, if you have the right shield, if you have the sham shield equipped, you're generating just rockets back at you.
Yeah.
Because you're taking damage and you're absorbing 80% of the bolts coming at you.
Wow.
It's shenanigans. But yeah, so we did that for a while. We took down I thought the invincible stalker was a bit disappointing because he's not gigantic.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Pretty much it. He's kind of like super badass size.
Yeah.
So it's not huge. But he does trade off his shield between you either attack the witch doctor before he has a chance to transfer the shield to the stalker, or you try to beat the stalker down, and hopefully he puts the shield back on because that shield is a pain to get through.
Yeah.
Unless you have the sniper rifle that shoots through shields, and then it's just game over.
Yeah.
So it's all these little things are just balancing off each other. Somehow it just keeps breathing life into this game.
Yeah.
For me, but there is a hidden invincible in this DLC.
Oh, okay.
It is well, and I think there's another special one that like the witch doctors, if you let them do their special attack and then they level up everybody around them, which sucks sometimes because they're immune to fire, and I have an inflammable infinity pistol, so
Yeah, we didn't see a witch doctor last night, and we turned around and it had leveled up 4 guys around it to level 54.
Oh, yeah.
no.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, wait till you get to the badass ones, to the point where they're, I guess the badass witch doctor, the super badass witch doctor has like they're called like Vandamo Luz or something, some ridiculously unpronounceable name. But we've been trying to do that. But I don't know if you've noticed, there are chimneys with totems around it that you can feed iridium into.
Yeah, we ran into one. We didn't know what that was for.
Well, there are 4 of them.
Okay.
And there are 4 torches. Like when you first jump off the big waterfall down, there's a totem that's got 4 torches in it.
Okay.
Each one of those totems that you feed a room to lights one of the torches, and you pull a level. And from that point on, you have like 4 waves of horde with regular guys and witch doctors
Yeah.
that you have to fight through. I strongly recommend you get the infinity pistol and the evil thing that stacks, because you will burn through all your ammo in this fight.
Yeah.
And then by the time the invincible spawns, you're like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, because the very first enemy we fought in the DLC was a super badass
Drifter.
witch doctor.
Oh.
That's the very first thing we ran across, and we're like, this shouldn't be too... Oh my god, he healed himself and we're out of ammo. Well, we're dead.
Oh man.
Yeah, they talk about soaking up some bullets.
Yeah.
But yeah, so once they get to that point, and I was happy to see when I first jumped in the area. There's a drifter just kind of walking around in the distance. I was like, oh, I kind of miss them.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I don't miss those things at all. So the secret invincible is a gigantic drifter
Oh.
that doesn't take damage unless it's on its critical hit points.
Oh, wow.
And usually, if you're in a party with more than one guy, only one person can see that you're even doing damage to him. So like the whole time we're fighting them the first time, it's like, I don't see we're even doing anything to him. What are we doing? But pro tip, if you can retreat to the lodge, that way any of his lobbed attacks can't hit you, and you can just kind of sneak out, shoot his crit spots, move back until they respawn. They pop up like little zip polyp things all over them.
Gross.
And they're kind of tough to hit.
Yeah.
And I think it's more or less designed because the fan boats are the only thing that do constant damage to them, and
Right.
it's just literally just chipping away.
Yeah.
It's nothing huge. So it's worth it. I would recommend you fight him with more than one person. I don't think you could solo him.
Yeah,
'Cause
probably
he
not.
just does way too much damage, and he is huge.
Yeah.
Like, you'll kill him, and you think, oh, man, I think it was right on top of me, and he's, like, on the other side of the map. You're like, oh, that loot's why it's so far away. But, yeah, so I'll probably play this game a lot more. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I really have nothing to gain out of it other than just breaking it and having a blast and seeing 17,200K come up
Yeah.
on it, which is just amazing to me.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even with the stacks maxed out. Like, to the highest level that I've got him. That was, like, maybe at, like, 130 stacks. Like, it's just dumb.
That's nuts.
But, yeah, anybody needs those stuff duped, look for me.
You know who to ask?
Either me or Seven Hender will be on, because we seem to be on all the time.
Yeah. Anything else you've been playing?
That's pretty much it.
All right, Hannah, what you got?
Oh, well, I'm going to tail off of Knobs, but in a slightly less epic fashion. I've been playing Borderlands 2. I finally hopped back in and started the True Vault Hunter mode, and I'm getting my butt handed to me. So,
Yeah.
anyone out there in Forums land playing on PC, if you see me online, hop in, because I probably need help. But I've got 0 leveled up to about 36, and I'm just in the beginning, like, hour of the game again, so just kind of going through that, trying to hop back into it, just because I know once I get past the True Vault Hunter mode and into like the raiding mode, I'm gonna have a lot more fun with it.
Yeah.
But I just got to get there. Is
Yeah.
what it comes down to. So, but yeah, just played a couple hours of that this week. What I've been playing most of this week was XCOM Enemy Unknown, because as Knobs is to Borderlands, I am to XCOM. I can't stop playing this game.
I think that's what scares me more than anything else right now. Because I've got like 200 and some hours into Borderlands.
Jeez.
Because I will sit down and I will go, I'll do like 1 or 2, missions. Maybe I'll, put together a couple of, areas in my base. And like 4 hours later, I'm sitting here like, I really got to get up for work in like 5 hours. I should probably go to bed. But I'm on a normal playthrough now, and this game is just too much fun. I've actually downloaded a couple of mods for it. Nothing major. It's just some minor stuff like when you discover a new group of aliens, it goes through this whole big animation. It goes through like a cinematic of you discovering them, and it gets a little annoying after you've played through the game one time. So
Yeah.
I found something that'll allow me to disable that. It's this. To give you the name of the mod, it's the XCOM Toolbox BOKS, and it lets you alter a bunch of different variables in the game. You can set it up to where any squaddy that you promote gets promoted to a specific class. So you can set it up to where all your squaddies will get promoted to heavy or sniper or assault.
Right.
You can mess with the percentages of what type of soldier you're going to get, like the nationalities and gender. So the default apparently is 67% male, 33% female. So I just evened that out, which I thought was a little interesting. But
Yeah, that's sort of a weird stat. I wouldn't
Yeah.
expect that.
Yeah.
but then you can changed the way the nationalities are distributed as well. So you can get like a bunch of American soldiers or a bunch of UK soldiers, or wherever you based your base in XCOM, you can get a bunch of soldiers of that
Right.
nationality. Which it's just those cool little things that I like tweaking.
Yeah, I wonder if that's when we were talking last week about that patch that's coming out, I wonder if that's the stuff the modders found. It sounds fairly similar to the patch that's coming out.
Yeah, I don't think it's tied into the second wave stuff too much, but I think it is like I wish there was like a second wave option to let you choose what your squads were promoted to, because as it stands, it's random. So you could end up with like 5 assault and 1 support.
Right.
And you could just have this totally messed up squad of no snipers, which to me, like, that you don't have a sniper on your squad, you're gonna lose that game.
Yeah, that game isn't gonna be very much fun.
Overpowered. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have 2 snipers right now in my squad that are both built completely differently. I have one that's set up to be able to move and shoot, and one has squad sight that can stay all the way in back and still hit everything.
Yeah.
And both at like 50 plus kills halfway through my playthrough.
Yeah, they're just walking death.
They're just both really good at what they do.
Yeah.
And it's killing every alien on the map when no one else can hit them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I will, with the one that stands still, the one that's kind of my stationary sniper, I can hit something clear across the map. And I'm not talking like I have like a 45% chance to hit. I got like 95 to 100%.
Yeah.
I've had less than 75% chance to hit with this sniper since she hit like the rank of major.
Yeah.
So it's just... I'm loving this game, and
so
if you
good.
would have told me like my favorite game of this year was a turn-based strategy, I would have called you a liar.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a strategy guy, and this is I'm having too much fun with this game. But
Yeah.
as soon as I unlock marathon mode, it'll just be like, all right, I can marathon for like an hour and go play something else.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do at this point is get marathon mode unlocked and just play for as long as I possibly can, just one game. I only played 2 other games this week. I reinstalled Evil Genius, which is I don't know if you guys remember, but it's an RTS that is you're sort of a Bond villain.
Yeah.
And your whole goal is to build up a base from which to execute your evil plans and operations. And on top of that base, you need to build like a front company. I think you basically build a hotel to front your evil organization.
Yeah. That came out a couple years ago, right?
That came out like almost 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
It's a pretty old game. But it's one of those like, I played it when it first came out and I enjoyed it, and it was one of the few strategy games I've ever really liked. And now that I'm back into XCOM, I'm sitting here thinking, you know what I haven't played in a while? I haven't played Evil Genius in a while. And I should pop that back in, because, I don't have, games from last year or games from this year to play at all. So we'll load up some Evil Genius.
You can borrow some of mine.
What was that superhero top-down real-time strategy game? You guys remember that? It was like a squad of 4 superheroes.
Oh, something.
Talking Marvel Ultra Alliance?
No. That's actually those are really good. Same with X-Men.
Destiny.
X-Men Destiny. Yeah.
No, X-Men Legends.
X-Men Legends 2 was really good. 1 wasn't bad, but
Yeah,
Is it Freedom Force?
2 seemed to hit it home.
yeah, Freedom Fighters.
Yeah, Freedom Fighters or Freedom Force, because Freedom Force was the RTS. Freedom Fighters was the weird Xbox.
Oh, that weird. Yeah, that not Freedom Fighters. Freedom Force was.
Yeah,
You should play some of that. Those games were good.
Let's check those out. I think I played the first one, like the demo, and I never went back to it. But
I think they're on Steam.
yeah, they probably are. I'll
Yeah.
have to double check.
Everything's on Steam.
Yeah,
Except for Kentucky Route Zero, which needs to get on Steam, please.
But yeah, no, I'm just playing some Evil Genius here and there. It's a fun game to just kind of pop in and go, oh yeah, there's someone attacking my base. Yeah, he's dead. Gonna build my communications room up. Gonna capture a few more soldiers, upgrade some units. Have some valets out front of the hotel that are also spies. It'll be fun. And the last game I played a game of Risk Factions last night with a friend of mine, and I love that game.
It's so
just
good.
fun. And everyone's like, "Oh, Risk, it's gonna take forever." It's like, no,
No.
you watch and learn.
Yeah, no, this is Risk Factions. Recognize.
Yeah, you get.
It's
So
the best Risk ever.
so we always play, even if it's 2 players, we'll throw a computer player in there just to give us, some padding and some time.
Yeah.
So we go through and we just annihilate the computer player, and then we kind of shake hands and go, "All right, now it's on."
Yeah.
And I thought we had set it up to play a game of world domination where you have to take over the whole map. Not realizing that it was just a standard 3 objective game, and we each had 2, and my buddy John sort of stole the last objective, and I was like, "Oh, so okay, I lost."
Oh.
It just kind of petered out, but it was always a good time. I think that's one of my favorite games. Like, if you got a group of people together that are just sitting in the same room, you can just kind of go, "Hey, you guys want to play some Risk?" And you can play 2 or 3 games, or you can throw it on World Domination and just play for the whole night.
Well, and anybody can play that game too. Like, you don't have to know how to play Risk. It shows you how to play, and you can still play classic Risk if you want to do that for some reason.
Yeah.
But man, just playing Risk Factions is fascinating.
Yeah, I just love it. I listen to the cat noises and the furry dice.
Yeah.
In my group of friends, the 2 races, or I guess factions, that are always picked are always the cats and the Yetis first, because they're the most awesome.
Yeah.
Really? I like the robots.
I kind of like the
fun.
zombies.
I'm a big fan of the Yetis because their weapons are nothing but icicles and snowballs, and they stomp face with nothing but icicles and snowballs.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but yeah, that's pretty much it for me this week.
All right. First game I played is the incredibly divisive new iOS app that I hesitate to call a game, Final Fantasy All the Bravest.
I saw the screenshot. This is insane.
Yeah. So for those of you that haven't seen this game, basically it is fan service to the extreme. It is a $4 game, if I remember correctly. And basically, as you continue and as you level up, you get more and more characters on your side. So it's very much it looks like very much a classic Final Fantasy game where it's monsters on the left, heroes on the right, and the tutorial shows you that you have 4 heroes on the right hand side, and you swipe your finger over a hero and it hops to the other side and attacks. What's crazy about it is that sounds fine. But it gets crazy when you start getting up to the level that I am, where you have 33 characters on your side attacking the enemy of random heroes and classes and ridiculous stuff. I have a pig in my party, it's sitting next to lightning and, snow and, an onion knight from Final Fantasy 3.
Nice.
Like, it's craziness. The problem, though, is that Square Enix went a little crazy with the microtransactions, and I feel like reviewers need to review mobile games with microtransactions differently, because if you look at what Ben Kuchera said about the game, he called it a steaming pile of BS. Because
affectionately.
Yeah, and Super Hungry says, yes, I remember that Final Fantasy where I played as a pig. A lot of people have made that joke, but that's Final Fantasy IV. So the problem is that one hit from an enemy will take out a party member, and it automatically refills your party, 1 party member per 3 minutes. So if you have 10 party members and you get totally wiped out, 30 minutes later your party is full. Or you can spend money on getting these hourglasses or whatever, and they immediately fill up your party. It's like $1 for 3 of them, $2 for 5 of them, and like $3 for 20 of them, or something like that. So on the surface, it seems like a normal sort of time wasting, busy work sort of mobile game with microtransactions, because you can fight the enemy and wait some time to get your party back, or spend $1, get your party back right away. That doesn't seem to be the part that pisses people off. The part that pisses people off is there's no real strategy. So if your party wipes out completely, you can restart the fight, but that's not really gonna do anything because you and the enemy are gonna have the same stats, so nothing is going to change.
So there's no input.
You're literally like rubbing the screen, getting your characters to fight the enemy, and when they're all out, you just wait to fight through them again. So it's really weird because I don't feel like this is a bad game, but I feel like where people are getting really upset about it is in the additional content. So there are I think $4 a piece or $3 a piece. There are 3 extra maps. One of them is Midgar from Final Fantasy VII. One of them is Xanarkand Ruins from Final Fantasy X, and the other one is Archlight whatever's from Final Fantasy 13. And on each one of them, there's a handful of enemy battles, and it all has this Final Fantasy music and yay and all that. So those aren't bad. I think where people are getting really pissed off is the 35 extra characters that you can unlock for $1 a piece that you are randomly given. And which I don't think is a bad price. I think a lot of people are upset that it's random because you don't have to. So, sorry, there's a lot to this game, and I'm upset at how a lot of people are rating it. I don't think it's a great game, so I'm not going to defend. I think it's barely a game. I think it's one step above a screensaver. But what I get really upset about is, and people did the same thing with Theater Rhythm when it came out on iOS. It was free on iOS, and you pay per song, which totally makes sense. Buy the songs you want, whatever, who cares? But each one of the songs was like $5 or so. What I get really upset about is when reviewers say that Final Fantasy All the Bravest is like a $55 or $65 game. It's not. It's a $4 game that you can get through without spending any more money. And you'll have a pretty good time. You just need to hang out and wait. So I feel like you need to rate the game based on that. And then if you think the DLC or the microtransactions are BS, rate those also. Well, yeah. I mean, as a normal gamer, you don't have to buy them. I mean, if the game forced you to buy those to get to the end, I could understand that. Rate that game poorly. But for a game that, the cards are unfairly stacked in the enemy's favor, and I totally understand that. But to rate this game poorly because it's a $55 game, I feel is wrong. And I feel like that's misleading because it's an okay to bad $4 game where you have very little input and no strategy. If you want to say that, that's fine. And if you want to say, well, I also want to rate the DLC and I also want to rate the microtransactions, those are bad, that's totally fine too. Because I saw so many people rating Theater Rhythm badly on iOS because it's $125 to download everything. But
Makes no sense.
Wow.
who is going to do that? Because if you want to download everything, you go buy it on 3DS. Or I would be very surprised if there's more than 0.5% of people that download a Theater Rhythm and purchased everything right out of the gate to spend $125. I could see people buying like, well, I like these games. I like this song from Final Fantasy V, and I like this song from 12. I'll spend $10, and I'll buy these couple things, and maybe they'll never come back to it. Or they buy all the songs over a couple of months. And Square Enix still gets your money, but I don't think... I think very few people are going into these experiences saying, oh, it's $4, but it's really $65, or oh, it's a free app, but it's $125. Like that to me seems like you're so far removed from the regular people that are experiencing these apps that I feel like it's a poor review.
Well, no, it's doing the math that they think everyone's going to do. Right? Yeah. They assume, all right, well, you want your full experience of this game, you're going to want to spend the $65 right out the gate and buy everything.
Right.
Which most people, I know I wouldn't.
No, I mean, I'm not going to.
I do that with, it's like the digital comic hole.
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, read next
yeah.
episode, boom. All right,
Boom,
I spent another
$3.
$5.
Yeah.
Oh, is another? Oh, why not?
Yeah, keep this train rolling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just it's one of those things that I think is designed to help people do that. I don't think people are going to go in there and just buy everything right up a bit. Like like you said, I just think here the reviewer's separated from the consumer at that point.
And I feel like they're separated from the platform too, because this sort of, they're calling it Square Enix greed. This sort of mobile greed is nothing different. This is nothing new.
No, it's not.
This is how some poorly designed microtransaction-based mobile games do it. I mean, like, one of my favorite iPhone games, now it's on Android, so one of my favorite smartphone games is Tiny Tower. And you can buy gold and you can win the game for real-world money, but that game is designed well enough that you don't have to. Either you wait the time or you do special things while you're playing the game, and you don't have to spend any extra money. You can if you want, if you're impatient and you have more money than time. But there's something about Square Enix. You know, I've had a problem with reviewers of Square Enix games on mobile because, like, for example, Final Fantasy Tactics, War of the Lions is on iPhone and iPad. And I think at its most expensive, it's $15. And to me, for a game that can easily be $100, $15 is a pretty good price for one of the best strategy RPG games of all time that you can just carry around with you wherever you're going. And yeah, it cost $50 when it came out, 10, 15 years ago, and it costs you $3 or free right now on Vita or PSP if you have PlayStation Plus. But I feel like there's no appreciation of value here. Somebody just says it's a $15 mobile game. That's insane. It's like, well, yeah, but it's not Temple Run. Nobody's charging $15 for Temple Run. And I feel like this is part of the industry's, the reviewing part of the industry's coming to grips with this platform and saying, yeah, you're not getting, for your $1, you could either get a 2-hour game or you could get Game Dev Story, which you could play for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And I feel like there has to be this common language for reviewing where, there's a value put on $1, especially on console games, where like the second Kane and Lynch game, when I was still doing reviews, I reviewed very poorly because that's a 4-hour game for $60 with a multiplayer that didn't really matter. So I feel like we're on the other side. The market has gotten so messed up on smartphones that if a game is $2, the internet explodes. That how dare they charge anything over $1 for a smartphone game? It's like, well, that's insane.
I can't think. I can't. I don't think I can think of that because it points out it's $2.
Yeah. You were paying like $70 a month for that phone, and you're complaining about $2.
Yeah.
Like, I will easily complain for a $45 or $50 3DS game because I feel like that's a bit over the market standard of $35 to $40. But when a game comes out on like when a game comes out on XBLA or PSN and it's $15 and it's a really good game, great. That game was $15. Like, I'm looking forward to The Cave coming out. Double Fine's Cave coming out next week for $15.
Awesome.
I will buy that. And I will happily play through that. Because I feel like that appears on the surface to be a good value proposition.
Absolutely.
But if a game were to come out for like Minecraft came out for $20 on XBLA, and people were like, yeah, that's a little expensive, but you can get a lot out of that game. So that seems like a fair price.
Exactly.
I feel like there's such a skewed perspective on the smartphone marketplace because regular people that may not see themselves as gamers have driven down the prices on smartphone apps to such a crazy level that, you know, like I bought an iPhone app the other day to replace the built-in calendar on the iPhone, and it was $4. And it's really, really, really good at what it does, and it has made me more productive. And a lot of the reviews are like, well, it's really great, but I mean, it is $4. It's just like, that's like
a whole $4.
like
Wow.
you can't even buy a paperback book for that price. That's half the price of a paperback book.
Yeah.
Like, or a Kindle book. Like, I just, it's so skewed and it's so way off the mark that.
Well, it's
I just
the problem
can't
in the anonymity of reviewing things. It doesn't matter. People are going to blast it whether it works or not. Like, it's just whatever they're feeling. It's so arbitrary, the whole rating system.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how many times I read it that somebody bought a product, but they didn't do the research and bought the wrong thing and rated the product poorly.
Yeah, or they'll
it's
rate,
not
like,
what I thought it bought, so it gets a 1 star. I was like, then you're
Or
an idiot.
Some of my favorite reviews on Amazon where they're like, well, it didn't ship fast enough. UPS didn't leave it at my store 1 star, my door 1 star. It's just like,
That's got nothing to do with that product.
yeah, I don't think you understand how this works. But so, like, I just keep getting frustrated. And I feel like this was the straw that broke my back with smartphone reviews. Is there's just such a gulf here between what the game is and what they're reviewing that microtransactions in this game suck. And yeah, this game is not great, but don't review it as a $65 game. Review it as a $4 game that has really bad microtransactions. And don't review it as something that costs more than the XCOM that we just bought. You know, because the two games are not, these aren't in the same league. And it's frustrating. And I had to get that off my chest. So thank you very much, everyone, for listening. And don't buy that game because it's not a good $4 game. If it was a screensaver, it would be great.
Like a wallpaper on Android or something.
Yeah, like it would be a really great. Like if you want to charge $4 for that screensaver, and it's got some Final Fantasy music, and it's got some great sprites, and it's got a whole bunch of stuff flying and attacking, and it's like an After Dark screensaver from the late '80s.
Nice.
Yeah. Stuff just keeps happening.
Yeah, stuff just keeps happening.
Like I'm waiting for Worf to come out and start taking the screen apart.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the flying toasters to start coming out. But like as a game experience, there's no strategy to it. There's really nothing for you to do other than rub your screen and wait for stuff to happen. And when you're out of things to happen, wait until your phone says, hey, your forces have reassembled. Go get some revenge. And rub your finger on the screen for 2 more minutes and then come back later. So,
all right.
Not great.
Cool.
But the other games I've been playing, I played a little bit of Gravity Rush. I grabbed my Vita the other day and fired up Gravity Rush. Played probably about 15 minutes. And I really like what that game is presenting to me so far. Probably some of the best music I've heard in a long time.
Nice.
Really good, like, piano orchestrated stuff.
Cool.
I really like the style. I really wish I would have been able to play for more than 15 minutes, but we needed to do house stuff instead of laying in bed and playing Vita all day, regrettably.
Yeah.
Regrettably, but understandably. But the other game I've been playing pretty much exclusively lately is Sleeping Dogs. And if you're listening to the show, you need to go play this game. It is probably the best open world game out there that is serious. Because Saints Row the Third is probably the best goofy open world game. But if you want a game that actually has what I feel is a good story, that isn't The Walking Dead, it's a fairly straightforward kind of mob story, like, quasi spoilers for the middle half of this game. But when there's a wedding that happens, you know what's going to happen to everybody at that party. As soon as you turn around, like it
you can guess.
Yeah, I mean it hits those mobs, beats that you sort of expect a mob story to hit. But the writing is really good, the voice acting is really great. The animation is kind of clunky, but it doesn't harm it. But just playing this story where you see this this undercover cop try to balance, taking care of the people that he knows in this mob life that he's thrust into, but also trying to bring down, all the people that he's gotten really close to. I feel is a really interesting story, and it's not the most original story, but it's told well enough and it's fun enough that you kind of don't care.
Nice.
And it's not like In America, and it's not a mafia story.
Yeah.
And it's just a really great game, and I think it says a lot that I don't use guns at all. It's all this hand-to-hand combat, or I'm just like running.
Fisticuffs.
Yeah, it's all fisticuffs, or I'm like running people over. But what I think is so great is while I've been playing it, I've been thinking a lot about GTA 4, because Knobs and I didn't like GTA 4, and I feel like we're
you can add me to that list too. I was not a fan.
Yes, but I feel like when we're on the internet, I feel like we're sort of tilting at windmills here, because everybody's like, well, GTA 4 is the best of this generation, and I'm just like, I don't think we played the same game here.
It was mediocre at best at everything it did.
And one of my biggest problems is one of the problems that I feel like people keep brushing under the rug, and I feel like it's indicative of where game stories are, is that I felt there was such a disconnect between Nico saying, I just want to get out of the bad stuff, man. Oh, I'm gonna have a mission here to shoot everybody in the face. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
That sounds fine. So
yeah, the wishy-washy mass murderer ever.
Yeah, so like I feel
I don't want to do this, but
I guess I'll shoot everybody.
I really want that car, so I'm gonna go kill 30 dudes in the face.
So like that's what I feel is really great about Sleeping Dogs, is there's no dichotomy between who the character is in the cutscenes and who the character is in when you're controlling him. It still feels like a guy that knows his way around driving and punching dudes in the face and guns, because he's a cop. And he's been doing this undercover mafia mole sort of stuff for a while here, because that's his job. And to see him go through this character arc of, becoming more understanding about the people that's in the group that he's in makes sense, because he's living with these people, and he's sort of in the crap with these people, and it feels like a natural story. It doesn't feel like cutscene guy and then shooting dudes guy. It feels better. Everything except for your relationship with the women in the game, which is not good. It starts and it happens almost. It's like 0 to 60. And then at some point they'll call you up and say, why are you sleeping around on me? And your character's like, I'm sorry, baby. And I was like, what happened? I don't understand. I just went out a date with that other lady, and I don't think anything happened. We just did I sleep with her? Is that what happened? I was just trying to show all the health shrines on the map. This is weird.
She got a phone call, and he's like talking with the parents. Just take care of it.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear about it.
It's just really weird. So but that's really only one wrinkle in this game, and it's just it's fun enough that I want to see the end of this story, because I'm semi-invested in it. Not like The Walking Dead, because I don't think anything can touch that right now. But but I feel invested enough in it, and it's also fun enough to go through the environment and go through the puzzles of, well, the map says there's a lockbox here. Where is it? Oh, it's all the way on top of that building. Now, how do I solve the puzzle of climbing up these things to get on this building, to climb up to it and get it? And it's probably only like
Ezio costume.
Yeah, and it's probably only like a shirt and $10,000, but it was the puzzle of getting up there and opening it was fun. So
yeah, that sounds really interesting, actually.
It's one of that, and Saints Row the Third are my favorite open world games of this
think
gen.
you nailed the point. Is with this guy's an undercover cop, he knows who he is, and it's believable in the world.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And the best thing about Saints Row the Third is you knew you were the bad guy.
Yeah,
and you were just going to cause ultimate mayhem that entire game, and you did
That's
in
your
the
whole
best
goal.
ways possible.
Yeah, that is your whole goal. And
But then back to GTA 4,
yeah,
you're an immigrant trying to make good, but you're just a psychopath.
yeah. And I feel like there's such a missed opportunity with GTA 4 in telling a story about the American dream.
But that blows me away because they got Red Dead Redemption so right.
Oh god, yeah, that game is just so
I don't know
good.
what I still have to play. Jeez.
Yeah, and Red Dead is just that story had nuance to it, and that story had a strong character who did exactly what he said he was going to do, and acted how he said he was going to. And I feel like GTA 4 could have been a great story about the promise of the American dream, even if the American dream would let Nico down in the end. I feel like that would have been a better story than what we were presented with. And I understand why people love that game, because that's one of the games they play on their consoles, is they are always waiting for the next GTA game. Like Super Hungry says in chat, as a person working at a game store currently, I'm sick of being asked when GTA 5 is coming out. Because that's what John Q Gamer cares about, and I get it. I understand. Yeah. I want to buy the next Need for Speed game. I want to buy the next Madden, and whatever GTA game is coming out. And there's a new Halo game. I played. It's great.
Oh, there's no new shooter.
Yeah, like the multi-million-dollar blockbuster games. I get it, but I feel like that game deserved better, and I feel like, Extra Players brings up a good point here. Sleeping Dogs is the best game that no one's going to play. Yeah. And it's a shame because it does open world games and open world storytelling right. And just nobody's buying it. And
that's the funny thing. Because that was I think finally, after not liking the game for so long, I think you just really nailed it why we don't like it. Mm-hmm. Because thinking back to 3, your guy was a thug. And 3, Vice City, you guys were pretty much the bad versions of Hopper and Tubbs from Miami Vice.
You guys were
trying to build a drug empire.
You guys were kind of in Vice City. You guys are kind of bastards.
Yeah, and it was believable. Plus, you had Ray Liotta as a voice actor. How can you not love it?
Yeah, exactly.
And San Andreas really didn't get into it. I can't say I played it at any length other than I own a copy.
Yeah, I played it for about an hour, and I was like, this is not the game for me.
Right, and I think that's where our disconnect happened, is we were kind of done with that after Vice City, and we couldn't get into the real down and dirty version of San Andreas.
Yeah.
And then we get into this, and we see a character we want to like, and his voice acted well, but he just contradicts everything he does to that point. You're like, you know what? This doesn't add up.
Yeah. Well,
and I don't care.
Yeah.
I feel like one of the strengths of GTA 3 is the main character, who was later named Claude, doesn't speak. So when he comes up, like, there's the one cutscene everybody can notice is GTA 3, where he goes up to a back door and sort of nods at somebody, and they're like, "Hey, I need you to go take care of this dude." He nods and then walks away. That's all you get for story, and then you're just there to blow stuff up, because it was an open world game in sort of the old school mentality, which is, I don't care about story, it's just a sandbox for me to play around in, and the story is kind of just the glue between the shooting. It's just the thing that gets me open the next island, or to get to the next, or to get to that place that has the tank, that sort of thing, instead of having any sort of meat in that story.
Do you think we're kind of crazy for picking this like weird stance on a game that we know is a known quantity of what you do in it? Are we imposing like our own feelings of what we want that game to be?
I think we sort of have to, because that's what we wanted that game to be. I don't think it's a negative, because when a new GTA game comes out and they say, well, it costs us $30 million to do, and we're really opening up the world, and we really want to tell a story, then I want them to tell a cohesive and intelligent story, because I know Rockstar can do that.
They did it 2 games with Red Dead and LA Story, or LA Noire.
LA Noire, yeah. They told a good story. Both stories have their problems, and I'll fully admit that, but I love both of those stories. And Bully is a game that people hold up as having an interesting story that I've never gotten around to playing. But
oh man, I keep skipping that.
Jesus out of that one. That is one of the few Rockstar games that I 100%ed that on 360, and I had an absolute blast. And yeah, it really does have a good story to it, but they do it in such a way that it separates it out from the sandbox mayhem that you can cause in that game.
Right.
They kind of block off the story into these separate missions, and each kind of mission moves this stuff forward.
Yeah.
And you don't have to move that stuff forward. And you know what? Yeah, this kid is, the kid you play as, he's a bully. He's not really a great kid, but neither are any of the other kids in the game.
Yeah. So I think when you look at those 3 games, and I think we need to hold Rockstar to that level that they've already shown they can hold themselves to. Like, if after LA Noire, you need to keep telling really good stories. And I know Team Bondi was the lead on that stuff, but I know that Rockstar was the lead on Red Dead Redemption. And that was an amazing and mature and depressing story that I feel like games don't tell that often. So when they say they want to tell a good story in GTA 4, and I feel like GTA 5 is going to be a little bit sillier than that, probably to its benefit.
Probably in response to Saints Row.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like if you want to tell a funny story, that's probably a lot better. If you fail at a funny story, I feel like that's a lot better than failing at a serious story. Yeah. Because Sleeping Dogs has grabbed me so much that I really want 100% that game, because all of its content is really interesting, including its story. So I don't know where we were going with that, but I don't feel like we should step down on not liking GTA 4 because we don't feel like it's a good game. And I feel like part of what I've always wanted to do on the show is, if we don't like a game for a good reason, we're not going to back down. We don't like Halo, the Halo series, for a very specific reason that, maybe might make us seem like crazy people to 99.9% of the rest of gamers, but if we can back up our opinions and back up how we feel, then it's not crazy. We wanted a different game out of GTA 4 than we got.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I mean, when you get in that argument, and you're like, well, how can you not like that? I was like, these are the reasons. And he's like, well, they are just crazy. I mean, no, I just pretty much explained exactly my problems with it.
And I understand why people love that game, and I understand why people love that story, but I just don't think it's well told, especially in comparison. Most video game stories aren't good, just flat out, but at least they're typically passable or consistently bad.
To the point where it's hilarious.
But the game's inconsistencies and its dichotomies are what really drag it down.
And I think even on a mechanical level, GTA 4 wasn't good. And a lot of people
was horrendous.
The driving was horrendous. The shooting and cover system was, compared to the games that were out at the time, a joke. Stuff you're supposed to be able to do really well in a GTA game are driving and blowing stuff up and killing people. And those were terrible, in my opinion.
I find it really funny when people are like, the driving wasn't bad in GTA 4. It's like, no, it's... You have Stockholm Syndrome going on right now. Like, if you want to say it's bad, but I really enjoy it, that's totally fine. But the driving was uncommon to games that have driving in it. And when you compare it to something like Sleeping Dogs, like, the first time in Sleeping Dogs, when you lean yourself out of a window and shoot the tires off of a cop car that's traveling behind you, and it pitches up and explodes into this shard of glass, you can't help but smile. You're like, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to happen. Like, this is an action scene. This is awesome. This is like some John Woo business. When, like, at that point, like, this is kind of what I wanted.
Yeah, and even to make the comparison, I think from what I've heard and what I've been told, I haven't played Sleeping Dogs myself, but from what I've heard from friends that have played it and from what I'm hearing out of you, Boston, it sounds like Sleeping Dogs is a John Woo movie. Yeah. GTA 4 was like a Michael Bay movie.
No, it was like a wannabe Scorsese is all that was.
Yeah, that's true.
So a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah. So
but I mean, that's the thing. Like with open world games, have done it right repeatedly on few different franchises.
Yeah.
Like Crackdown, the driving was fun. They even made helicopters
Yeah.
manageable.
Yeah.
And Saints Row the Third, I had no problem driving anywhere in that game at any time.
Right.
Like I actually enjoy just driving around the city.
Yeah, same with me with Sleeping Dogs. Last night I was just driving around the city because
I want to go explore.
Yeah,
I just want to see if I see something new that I hadn't seen before.
and I did, and it was awesome. And I drove some
Nice.
boats.
Oh,
It was amazing.
boats.
So,
Nice.
like, I can't. I'm continuing my parade of 2012's best games in 2013, and this would have been really high. I haven't finished the game. I only have a couple more like story missions left that I haven't had the time to sit down and really chew through. But if it continues on the same path that it's on, it would have been probably in my top 3 of 2012 easily. It's outstanding and just a blast to play, and I can't recommend it enough. 2012 was a really great year, and I'm sort of ashamed
You're just
that
finding that out now.
Yeah, I'm sort of ashamed that I didn't get it.
Hey,
while I was
it's
in
only
2012.
January. Come on,
I know.
we're
Fair
still in
enough.
the. I mean, I have a game that wasn't my favorite game of the year. I put 220 hours in.
That's true. 2012 was pretty great.
What is that?
But we've been recording for quite a while, and that's all I have for games I've been playing. So let's take a break.
Break.
Oh, I need a drink of water.
That was probably
Excuse
our
me.
longest "What You've Been Playing" segment in a while.
Yeah,
That was quite a.
the marathon.
It's gold,
Yeah.
Cherry. It's gold.
Thanks for
Oh, it was
everyone
quite a
sticking around in
tirade
the
you
chat
took on.
here.
It was quite a tirade you took on ATB, or what is it called? The Final Fantasy
ATB.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I like how they played that out. Active
just
time
get-
battle.
I just get really frustrated when I feel like when you're a video game reviewer, you have to have some sort of perspective on it,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day you're still a gamer,
Yeah,
and I feel like you have to still be one of us, and I feel like I don't want to be pessimistic, and I don't want to say like, oh, they're just in the pockets of the video game companies. Meh. Like I don't want to be that guy.
yeah,
But like at some point, that's why I've always sort of prided myself in a weird way that on the show that we're still buying our games. Like, yeah, I bought Lollipop Chainsaw for $20, but I still spent $20, and that still colors my impressions of the game. Like,
yeah.
is Lollipop Chainsaw a good $60 game? Maybe not. Is it a good $20 game? Probably. Is it a good rental game? Almost definitely.
Yeah.
Like when one of my favorite games is Alpha Protocol. Is that a good $60 game? No.
No, that's
Not
a
on
good
any
like
planet.
$20 game.
That's a great $20 game or a great Steam sale game, because it does certain things very well and it does other things disastrously. Like
Say
when
the
we were
least.
talking about X-Men Destiny, that is not a $60 game. That's barely a $20 game. But if that's a perfect rental game, a sort of a market that I feel like is missing nowadays.
It's sort of dead. It's like it's almost a mirror of the middle class in America. You have this big separation between people that are just above the poverty line, just below the poverty line, and then the super rich.
Yeah.
And it's sort of a weird thing to see mirrored in video games. Not even like actual video games, but in like the video game market.
Yeah, because I mean that's why
it's almost insane.
That's why I'm happy that Redbox is getting a lot more video game rentals, because a lot of these games you can just whip through on a weekend and return it. It was fun, whatever.
And that's my biggest problem with Redbox right now, is the lack of variety. As much as I didn't like Blockbuster, they were really good about stocking games that maybe you didn't want to necessarily buy, but no one else was going to have for rental.
Yeah, and that's one of the problems too with, like Knobs and I would let each other borrow games all the time.
Yeah.
But now we really can't, because we live too far away, and that's one of, and I'll take it on a totally different tangent. That's one of the biggest disappointments of GameFly not being great. Is just
so much potential squandered by not enough distribution centers.
Yeah, by just not investing the money in the infrastructure. And there were some forces that were against them, to be fair.
Oh, absolutely.
But just, I mean, comparing, if you could get the Netflix of video games, I mean, everybody would have that.
Oh yeah, I mean, I had GameFly for a while, and I was kind of in denial of like, no, it's not.
Yeah, no,
bad.
it's still
not
okay.
bad.
It's still,
Still
I
okay,
get
guys.
games.
Oh,
yeah.
I've had this game for 2 months. I could have bought this. Okay, well,
Yeah, it's just, I would rather wait for a game to drop in price and buy it for $30 to $40 than wait for it on GameFly.
yeah. No, I agree. I'm gonna grab a drink.
Okay. I'll be right back, everyone.
What is that? That's fucking too much shit in here.
Oh, that's better.
Sit all cool. These posture, dick. God damn it. Oh.
Yeah, I hear that.
We still got another one of these to do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to poop. Just saying, after we're done here, I'm dropping a deuce.
Still have a nice, half
Because my
hour break?
farts are wafting.
It's rough.
Oh, we're still on live stream, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Oh. I keep forgetting that. I'm being watched.
Alrighty. You guys ready
Welcome
to...
back, Boston.
Hey, thanks. I had to pee.
Don't
You
worry,
guys-
no cocks nor dicks were shown.
Fantastic. I'm glad I could leave this show in capable hands. Alright, you guys ready to do this next segment here so we can whip through the rest of the show?
Yep.
Since we still have the spoiler cast to do. For all of those of you watching on the live stream, after the show we'll take a quick break and then we'll be back with a Walking Dead spoiler cast that we will be live streaming.
Indeed.
Notifications. Stop it. Alright. How do I complain to Amazon?
Email them?
Because I downloaded X-Men Mutant Genesis on their download thing, or their Kindle app,
Yeah.
and it doesn't work.
Oh, great.
It's really, really annoying.
There is a
It was like...
Oop, go ahead.
It was like $12.
There is a specific Kindle support email address where you can be like,
Alright.
hey, I bought this book and it doesn't work. You need to tell the publisher and you need to refund me.
Oh yeah, because I get this,
Yeah.
and then wrong way.
And
Oh,
that's
come on.
it. Really doesn't work.
Yeah, there's the next page.
Great. That's useful.
That's the same thing for the next 4,000 pages.
This page
Wow.
intentionally left blank.
Ugh. I just want to read it again.
Yeah.
I'm
Super,
gonna download that Comixology, so.
Super Hungry asks in chat, do you mind if I entered my Walking Dead choices in here while you're going through yours? By all means, please, while we're doing the show, if you're in chat and you're watching, yeah, throw your choices in there. We'll probably choose some stuff that we didn't choose.
Yeah.
So
Yes, I'm scratching my ass in case anybody's curious.
that's why we're live streaming.
Yep.
Just another word for love.
Oops. I don't know if anybody hear that?
Yeah.
Something, another word for love.
Yeah, I didn't know what this was. It's an adapter, and I bumped my Family Guy pen.
There it is.
Everything I say is a lie. Except that. And that.
Nice.
All right, let's kick this pig.
All right.
Alrighty. Oh yeah, that's on me.
Yeah. Pig's over there.
That'll do, pig.
That'll do.
Oh wait, sorry, I'm still reading X-Men. See? that Comixology app is just dangerous.
Yeah.
It really
sounds
is.
like it.
It's a little horrifying, to be honest.
You just go. I mean, I spent how much was that? $24 in a matter of a half an hour, just going from one issue to the next. I was like,
Oh, I have my camera reversed. I was about to show everybody ATB Battle Fever's up. Show no quarter.
Oh, man.
I'll fire it up here. I'm fighting the final boss of Final Fantasy X here. That is just really not looking good, is it?
I don't know.
Oh,
I can't
man.
see.
That's
Stuff.
insane.
There's a lot of characters up in there.
Yeah.
And
How
I
do you
don't have
see?
it.
Can you see that?
He probably has the live stream up.
Yeah.
Do you? Oh.
Your connection is too bad. I wouldn't suggest it. But yeah, apparently that you can max out 50 characters on that one side. But
That's
you
a
know
lot of
what is
characters.
really great about the game is they made sprites out of characters that didn't have sprites, like everything from Final Fantasy VII on. So
Ooh.
you get to like have a little sprite of Red 13. You have a little sprite of Lightning. Like really
that's
cool.
exciting.
Like they put the time into making some cool fan service, but the
It's
rest
kind of
the game is-
wasted.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
All right.
Anywho,
All right. You
let's do
ready?
this. Yep.
Yep.
All right. Ready in 3, 2, 1. And welcome back, everybody. We got releases. Downloadable games this week is Devil May Cry DMC for PC. It is $50.
Apparently, it can run well on a lot of different machines. I don't think there's a demo out there, but apparently
Huh.
it can run at 60 frames on machines that are even a couple years old.
Oh,
And if
nice.
your machine is new, it'll run at 200 frames a second if you'd like it to.
what?
They did not
That's
cap
pretty-
the frame rate.
Oh, awesome.
Oh man, that's gotta break your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty, Corpse Party, Book of Shadows for the PISP. They're still making games for PSP.
Yeah, this is Xseed, I think, is coming out with it. The first game did pretty well. It's like a horror visual novel. Apparently the second one is even better. Somebody had gifted me the original months and months and months ago, and I
Corpse
forget
Party?
who. So thank you to whoever did that. And I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but apparently it's really good.
Yeah. PlayStation 2 Classics, Siren for $10, and Disgaea, Hour of Darkness for $10 as well.
Disgaea is one of the rarest PS2 games, and it is incredible. If you've ever wanted to jump into a dungeon that's inside of a sword to increase its stats, It's incredible.
If you want to destroy your life for $10, that is the game to do it
Yeah.
with, because the level cap is 9,999, and you can reset to 0 with your full stats and re-level up and keep building your stats. That game is the definition of insanity.
Yeah,
and you can play it forever,
it's
like almost literally.
Yeah, it's virtually never ending.
Yeah,
And
and
it's so
Siren,
good.
that's a game I've been meaning to pick up since I heard about it when it came out on PS2, and I just never got around to it.
There's so many games like that you just missed.
Yeah,
Like games you were so excited to play and just like, oh, that when? Oh, it's out of print? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
I just purchased a copy of a game that's out of print for PS2, Concept.
Concept,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I just picked up a copy of that off Amazon for $20. It's in mint condition.
very nice.
I
Incredible.
love people.
I do too. I just don't know what they have. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
There's always a copy of something floating around out there, and it's on the internet.
Yeah, in
That's
the same
best thing ever.
in the same day, I bought a copy of Concept and Lollipop Chainsaw, both for the same price.
Outstanding. PlayStation Instant Game Collection, Darksiders. It's free.
You gotta play that. There's
Can't
no
go wrong.
excuse to not play this game now.
Yep.
It's the best Zelda game that's been made in like the last decade.
Yes, it is. It is amazing.
Yeah.
One of my favorite games of all time. All
Yeah,
time.
one of my favorite games this generation, easily, if not one of the best action adventure games of all time.
very nice.
The Cave for XBLA and PlayStation Network is 1,200 points and $15.
Yes.
And
Ron
or
Gilbert
50.
back in the game.
Yeah,
Cannot
Ron
wait
Gilbert
for
and
that.
Double Fine. So what I didn't know about the game is really interesting is that there are 7 playable characters, but you can only take 3 of them at a time into the cave
Ooh.
to go adventure. So you can play this game a number of different ways and see different stuff every time, and that sounds
That's awesome. That sounds like Maniac Mansion.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's very much that same design.
Nice.
Yeah.
Probably same engine too.
Yeah.
Yeah, knowing them. U.S. release for the week of January 21st, 2013. Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch for the PlayStation 3. And that is it.
I am so pumped for this game. Level 5 and Studio Ghibli making a game, and it's a playable Studio Ghibli movie. And God, it looks so good.
Yeah.
I'm surprised at the number of review outlets covering that game and reviewing it very highly. Somewhere, I think, very succinctly put it, it is Dragon Quest without all the stupid BS.
Yeah.
So that sounds like a game I want to play, because I like Dragon Quest.
That seems perfect.
But let's move on to the super bevy of news stories we have this week. Apparently, video game industry has finally come out of hibernation this week and has decided to start doing stuff.
And they're angry.
And they're angry.
Yeah.
So typically on the show, we try and leave politics out of this show, but whenever something bad happens, typically video games are blamed. If you are a fan of games, you know this already. And typically nothing ever happens about it. But with the Sandy Hook Elementary shooting that happened recently, video games, it is
Back in the
unfortunate.
crosshairs.
Yeah, it is an unfortunate incident. Nobody will say that. But unfortunately, video games are back in the crosshairs yet again. But what's really interesting is that President Obama has called for governmental research into video game violence. So he has asked the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, to start investigating if there's a link between video game, media images, and violence. He says, quote, Congress will fund research into the effects that video game violence have on young minds, end quote. No further details were provided on what media images means. And research is expected to start in 2014. So what I think is really interesting about this, and it was either Joystick or Kotaku, gathered up 23 video game
That
studies.
was Kotaku, yeah. I read every one of them. I was like, wow, that's a lot of information.
It's really
This was
interesting.
going back to the 80s.
Yeah, and it's really
Wow.
interesting. They did a good job of presenting those studies, because some of them were polls, but some of them were sit down and play these games and tell us how you feel. And some of them were really interesting because you'll see two studies side by side that'll maybe say, well, we'll play Mortal Kombat 2. And one of them will say, yes, it made 18 to 24-year-old men more violent. And then the next study will say, well, it didn't make them more violent, it made them less violent, and it got all that aggression out of them while they're playing, and does it better over a longer term. So I won't rehash that thing. But I thought that was really interesting. And what I feel is really interesting about this is I feel like it's an opportunity for what I hope will be an extremely fair research piece to be done that can finally say once and for all that, yeah, it does have an effect, and it was a well-done study, or it has no effect, and, we had a fairly large institution do it. It wasn't just two people at a college doing it. It's the CDC doing it.
Right.
A well-researched and well-funded thing that we can finally say, well, yeah, it does incite violence, or no, it doesn't.
I would find it interesting if they just didn't focus on violent video games themselves, because I know I have more frustration in puzzle games and in sports or racing in competitive games, like games that that are never on the radar. I am more frustrated racing than I am ever in playing a shooter.
Yeah, there have been times where I've wanted to snap a controller in half because I'm playing a PGR game, and that car hits you in that back quadrant the right way, and you spin out and you lose the race.
Yeah, that is the only, honestly, the only things I really feel any sort of rage or aggression is when that happens.
Yeah. Or when somebody's cheating in a competitive online first or third person shooter.
Oh, right.
Then I just get I have to get out of here. I can't do this. Well,
I don't even get that upset over fighting games.
No, I don't either.
Games that are directly you're producing the violence, and I'm like, that was a good move.
Yeah,
nice, good match.
Yeah.
GGOP.
Yeah. So I think it'll be really interesting, and what I really like about it is that they're focusing more than just video games. They're looking to say, well, does violent media influence or increase violent tendencies in people? I feel like they're not just focusing on 18 to 24-year-old white males. They're looking at people, and they're looking at, well, does a violent movie affect them as much as a violent book does, or as a violent game does, or some sort of music, something like that. So hopefully it'll be a little bit more fair and less.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what they pull out of this, because honestly, I'm more cringeworthy on douchey dialogue than I am on seeing something explode.
Yeah, same here. I'm actually kind of hoping that this, either way, no matter which way this study goes, I'm interested to see the results, because you want to be, there's never really been a clear 100% study that says yes, violent media or video games causes violence, or no, violent media and video games don't cause violence.
Right. Well, there's always been an asterisk.
That's the toughest thing with the study anyway, is the results you're trying to go for, and your funding depends on finding results.
Yeah.
So even then, unless it's a truly double-blind study, they're going to get what conclusions they're looking for.
Right. Yeah. That's why I'm happy about the CDC doing it. Is I don't feel like I hope that there's no agenda in there, because I don't see what they would gain by saying yes, video games make you want to shoot people.
If anything, the CDC doesn't have a vested interest in the result.
They really don't. So I'm really interested to see how the data goes, and even if it is, my prediction, my hypothesis is that it won't be, video games and violent media have a long-term effect on the psyche of this age range and this type of person. Mm-hmm. I think what they'll see is that certain types of games combined with certain types of people produces a short-term raised level of aggression and emotionality, which I'm sure we've all experienced. You play that game and it's just frustrating you, and you can't get past this part, or you're pretty sure the computer's cheating. You get that sort of you kind of want to break the controller in half,
right?
And they're gonna see that, obviously, but
and hopefully it shines a light on what we sort of, as gamers as a whole, and the same thing happens with movies and books and all that, is troubled people and troubled minds will find the outlet that they're looking for their problems. So if they already have something that they are troubled on, or they already have a problem, then they're going to find the outlet, or they're going to find a community, or they're going to find the people that feel the same way and feed that issue. So, hopefully it shines some light on that.
I really, you see, here's the thing that I think would break it. If they do Pinball Hall of Fame Williams Collection, they will see more rage in a video game than I've ever experienced in my life. Like, and that's the weird thing, is that I think they're gonna laser focus on a certain variety of game,
right,
and come to a conclusion on that. When the actual what we do and our hobby is such a broad swath of everything.
Right. I mean, I certainly wouldn't blame them for looking at, Call of Duty and Halo and all that stuff, but I don't feel like there's any correlation there, and I think it's tough because when you have, tens of millions of people buying these games, the chances of somebody that's troubled buying one of these games is increased.
High.
But
yeah,
but I mean, what's the chances of somebody buying Ni no Kuni that is troubled and has an issue through going through that game?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's really interesting, but we're definitely gonna keep an eye on it as we go through.
Absolutely.
Let's move on to the next news story here. Gas Powered Games, the team that created one of my favorite games of all time, Total Annihilation, and the first two Dungeon Siege games, posts a Kickstarter where they say that we want to make this RTS RPG game Wild Man, and they're asking for $1.1 million. It's basically the heroes from Warcraft 3, basically focused on that, on RTS RPG. Then about 2 days later, fired everyone. And almost closed down the studio. Chris Taylor was up front. Chris Taylor, the founder of Gas Powered Games and the creator of many, many games, was very honest at the beginning and said, this is the last-ditch effort for my company, which has happened a number of times with him before, like Total Annihilation and Dungeon Siege. So it's not uncommon, but to hear the rumors come out a day or two later saying, oh, well, everybody was laid off except for Chris Taylor and like one or two other people. And Chris Taylor, to his credit, said, yeah, that happened. And it happened because the Kickstarter wasn't going that well, and if the money didn't come through, then he would have had to have fired everybody in the company and would not have been able to pay severance. So they would have been working on this game for 30 days and not been able to pay anybody. And the comment I keep seeing online, everybody's saying that the game made about $150,000 in its first day out of the $1.1 million that they're asking for. Everybody's saying, well, that's not a terrible first day. Yeah, it is, actually, because the only time that the vast majority of money that Kickstarter events make are on its first two and its last 2 days. So if you don't make like half of the money that you're looking for in the first couple of days, you're really gonna be in trouble. So when I checked it this morning, they still have like 24 days left, and I think they've made almost $300,000. So they're doing okay, but this is a really weird news story. And
it really is.
Unfortunately, 40 people are out of jobs now that if the game gets funded, they'll have jobs again.
Right.
But it sounds a little... I would like to raise the question of, when do you throw in the towel on your company when this keeps happening?
Yeah, it sounds like this has happened before, like you said, with Total Annihilation and Dungeon Seed, and like it sounds like there's a more endemic problem behind this than just our games aren't selling. Someone's mismanaging money at that company.
Yeah, or there's some sort of problem where you're not selling your game well enough to a publisher. Like, obviously, we don't know the inner workings of it because we don't work at Gas Powered Games. But What keeps going? My question is, what keeps going wrong here at this company that Total Annihilation was released like 15 years ago?
Yeah.
Why can't it come to? Why does it keep not coming together? You know.
I don't know. I mean, at some point, like it's almost to the point where their last ditch is asking the gamers to save them when, if it's not working, maybe you don't need our money, man. Maybe you just need to go in a different direction.
Well, and this is coming hot on the heels of gamers starting to turn against Kickstarter here in the last couple of weeks, and I don't think a lot of people are watching the bigger picture of this, but there's a lot of small news stories about a lot of people going on to Kickstarter that have made a lot of games in the past, very successful games, and putting up a Kickstarter that has no information on them, and then having to pull it down because nobody's giving them money. Or the thing that just happened with American McGee, where they said, well, our game is finished, but we'd like, what was it, $200,000 more dollars?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and gamers were like, well, no, because your game is already done. And I feel like there's this... Development studios have to stop relying on Kickstarter because it's not going to be around forever.
Well, no, I think it's more. I think it's not Kickstarter fatigue, but it almost feels like blatant abuse at this point.
Exactly.
Like, look, we can get some extra money off of these guys, and the game's already done.
Because I mean, when you start looking at a game like FTL, FTL was one of the very first Kickstarter successes, and FTL is a game that came out and did really well, but that was just two dudes who were trying to make a game. I will put some money behind a Kickstarter of that value. Like one of the things that I put a lot of money behind was this marshmallow company called Kerfluffles. It was one woman that wanted to open up a company because she made really great marshmallows, and spoiler alert, they're really good. And like I put like $60 into that because that's one person with a dream that really wants to make something that's their passion. Like I put also a couple days ago, I put a lot of money into this point-and-click adventure game that's LBGT friendly because we don't have any of those. And one dude wanted to make one because there weren't any games for him. So I threw a lot of money behind that because
that's awesome.
That's great. We should have more games like that for every type of person. So those are the kind of games I want to put my money behind. And one of the bigger ones that I've put money behind is Obsidian's game. Because I know they have the talent, they just typically don't have the money.
Or the publisher marketing them at all.
Yeah.
But when you start looking at somebody like American McGee,
he's screwed up more times than I can count, so he's lost any fandom he had from me.
You finished a game and you're not happy with it and you need $200,000 more when you already have a publisher. You need to talk to that publisher or they're going to squeeze it through the door.
Yeah.
So
and I just what's to say that he doesn't already have that money? He's just trying to get more.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's the point where people are really starting to get more skeptical on this whole Kickstarter thing.
Which I think they should be.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, because I mean, honestly, how many things have we say that have been big name items in our minds that have really come to fruition?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and Gama Sutra had a really good article. There were a couple people that had gone through Kickstarter events that had both succeeded and failed, and one of the most interesting things that they took away from it was that gamers, you need to treat gamers like your board of trustees and like your board, where they have put their money and they are your investors. So you need to treat them transparently so that if the game is not going well, you need to tell them. Because even if they put $1 into it, they are invested in your game for their money. And it might not be a lot of money, but they are one of your backers. They are one of your, they have spent their money on your vision, and you need to share that with them.
Absolutely.
So I think that's the biggest thing that any Kickstarter needs to take away, even if it's you're making marshmallows, you're making a book, or you're making a CD, or you want to open a restaurant, or you want to make a $2 million game. You need to tell people what's what's happening and what's going right and what's going wrong. It can't always be good news.
Yeah.
That's uncommon. So,
It's uncommon. It's unrealistic too.
It is, yeah. Like, hey, everything turned out really well. We had no problems.
Yeah, I'm sure they
the
did.
The game came out 6 months early. Hooray! You know, but like,
yeah.
when you start looking at somebody like it wasn't Relic Studios. I don't remember. Oh yeah, it was Torchlight 2. They had to delay that game because one of their programmers got sick, and they have like 5 programmers, and they told everybody honestly.
If one of your key people goes down, and if they're a big enough part of it, and they got their code in a bunch of different places, that can delay a launch by weeks, even months.
Yeah, I mean, you're at that point, you're probably missing sprints, and they were honest, and they had a publisher, or they were publishing it themselves. I don't remember, but they were honest, and they said, "Look, we have to delay the game again because somebody got sick." And that sounds crazy, but here's how it affected our game, and they didn't need to, but that's great. More transparency is needed in the video game industry in general.
Yes, more transparency is needed in a lot of industries.
That's true.
Video games in general.
But let's just say Square Enix needs to let us know why Final Fantasy Type 0 isn't coming out in the US.
Square Enix needs to lift the lead lined shutters on the whole company at this point.
Well, apparently Final Fantasy Type 0 is mostly done. So, and if anybody is curious why piracy is a bad thing for the 3DS, you need to look at the PSP and you need to look at the DS. Because there were a couple companies. somebody has claimed that they have rooted the 3DS, and there are a number of publishers and developers begging them to not release that code because they always say, "Oh, I don't want this to be used for piracy." So I'm just going to use it for homebrew. You can say that as much
as you want. Someone's going to do it.
Yeah, somebody takes your code and they start pirating games, and the Vita is already having way too many problems. Piracy killed the PSP, and piracy killed the DS in Europe. Yeah. So there were a lot of publishers and a couple of developers that said, "Hey, if you guys release the source code, we're not releasing any more games for this platform. We're out."
Yeah.
Because we're not going to make any money. And we made our bed and we dug our grave on these last platforms, and we can't do that again.
Yeah.
So interesting stuff. But let's move on to our next news story. There's a rumor floating around that Sony may be planning a new controller design for the PS4.
Please, not a Batarang.
I just what?
Did you see that one mock-up with the glass and the home button and stuff on it?
Yeah. But what's baffling to me is, I would ask the same question of Microsoft and Sony if they're thinking of doing this. Why? Why would you do these things? Both of your controllers are just fine. Don't just make another one with a different logo on it. That's all you need. Call it a DualShock 4. Put it back out. Who cares?
I don't know. Sony needs to get rid of those triggers.
Well, yeah, let's get rid of the triggers.
They need to invert the curve on them, and then that's a perfect controller for me.
Yeah, if you get rid of those 2 triggers and you just bring them back, put out a DualShock 2 and just put a 4 on it, and you're fine.
Yeah.
It would be as crazy as if Microsoft would say, "Well, we thought our controller was okay, but we're going to completely redesign it instead of just fixing the D-pad."
It's kind of like, it's almost as if or if Apple came out and said, "We're going to slap a hardware keyboard on our phone."
Yeah, it's just like nobody.
Why?
You don't need to do these things anymore. It's crazy talk.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, no, stop. You're doing it wrong. Our next news story: 2 human pulled from Xbox Live Marketplace.
Oh.
Man, it's just
this is man. I kind of feel bad for Silicon Knights, but they kind of brought it on themselves. But man, they are circling the drain.
That judgment of that slash and burn, destroy your source code judgment is far too harsh. I will say that till the day I die. You do not destroy source code.
Well, and the weird part too is its Xbox.com listing is still live, but there's nothing in there. Not even trailers, not even avatars or gamer pics or themes. Everything is gone. So It is rough, and I'm glad I have 3 copies of that game.
I'm glad I bought a copy of that game.
Well, that and X-Men Destiny's a collector's item now.
Yeah, I have a
Yeah.
sealed copy of that too.
Yeah, I should have picked that one up.
Yeah. Next news story. Positive news here.
Yay.
Let's all talk about good stuff. All Skyrim DLC and patches will be coming to PS3 next month. Yay!
Yep.
So, whatever Sony and Bethesda had to do to figure this out, finally figured it out.
I can actually give you some insight on that.
Okay.
The issue with the PS3, to give a basic breakdown of it, is so the PS3 and the 360 both have 512 megabytes of RAM. The way the PS3 allocates it, you have 256 for video resources and 256 for anything else.
Right.
The 360s is less restricted. You can use, 511 for video and 1 meg for everything.
Yeah, you can swing it however you want.
Well, the map in Skyrim is so monstrous, and it has to be loaded into that memory, that if you tried to do Dawn Guard, if you tried to throw what came out with Dawn Guard into that map, it pushes it past the threshold of what the PS3 can handle.
Wow.
That's amazing.
This generation has gone on too long.
It has. And my guess is the way they solved it is to access the stuff from Dawn Guard, the actual separate areas, you're going to see a loading screen. It's going to load an entirely separate map into memory. Now, Dragonborn was originally going to come out on PS3 no matter what, because it is a whole separate area. You're going to the island of Solstheim, and you have to load no matter what, because it's a whole new huge area.
Yeah.
But it fits within that 256 megs of video memory.
Right.
And this is just a very basic explanation of it. I've as much as I love this game, Bethesda has a real hard time programming for the PS3, and to their credit, the PS3 is kind of a pain to program for.
That's what I've heard. I've heard it's
because of
always
that
been
really
challenging.
strict hardware restriction.
Yeah.
Which I find completely pointless, but whatever.
That's kind of funny, because that was the same problem the PS2 had, and then all of a sudden they kind of like had that eureka moment, and everything just came down in waves.
And I think it was. I think somebody had written good middleware tools, and had said, like, you want to make PS2 games, this is probably the tool you want to buy, and you can make good PS2 games.
Because think of that, the PlayStation 3 library hasn't exploded.
No.
Like it did with the PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
There are a lot of programming challenges, especially when you're talking about parallel programming, which most video game designers aren't trained to do, because consoles don't do that. There are so many problems with programming for the PSP that make it challenging, but just like with the PS2, if you can really crack that nut, you can come out with games that are really, really great and look astounding.
Yeah.
So, but starting with Dragonborn, all the DLC will be coming to PS3 at a discount of 50% off, which
Yay!
Tie it up.
Yeah, which is a pretty smart move.
Yeah.
PC gamers will also be getting Dragonborn in the same time frame. I think it's coming out like February 5th.
Finally.
Or something like that. And the order of content for the PS3 is 1.8. Patch comes out first, then Dragonborn, then Hearthfire, then Dawnguard. So, we talked about this last month on Pup. Somebody had bought the PS3 version of Skyrim and was disappointed in the experience that they were given. If you really want to play this game in the way it was meant to be played, just pick it up on PC.
Yeah.
I do not have a great PC anymore. Mine is maybe about 2 year old now, I think. And when I fired up Skyrim, I bought it as part of the sale. It automatically put it on ultra high. And
yeah, I have a 5-year-old computer that I put on very high, so it's not very strenuous.
Yeah, so that's really the place to go. And you have mod support, so you can do
well, and
whatever
you have to be
want
careful with mod support, because if you start throwing crazy graphical mods and stuff on there, you have to realize that your requirements are then going up.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
You're not going to be able to crank it out unless you got a really high-end PC. But some of the more fun mods, you can totally pull off.
But speaking of mod support, let's talk about our next news story. Left 4 Dead 2 on Steam gets Steam Workshop support. So it'll make it a lot easier to find new weapons, campaigns, and mutations, which is great because somebody posted a screenshot of one of the characters with a sword and shield. So, that's awesome. So it means I need to install Left 4 Dead 2 again, apparently.
Yeah.
Next news story, another news story that we've been tracking for quite a while because it's insane. The Kevin Butler actor settles his lawsuit with Sony. To recap what happened before this, the actor Jerry Lambert, the actor that plays Kevin Butler, was sued by Sony for appearing, not as Kevin Butler, in a Bridgestone Tires ad playing a Wii. So that was Sony's lawsuit was. I think they were claiming brand confusion, which is weird.
Yeah.
Lambert acknowledged that he created confusion among some customers. As a result, he's agreed not to appear in any ad or promotion that mentions any other video game or computer entertainment system or video game company for 2 years. Once those 2 years are up, Lambert will spend 2 more years giving Sony notice of any video game commercials so it can assess whether or not it violates Sony's right to the Kevin Butler character. So, makes sense in a really weird way that he's just trying to play nice.
Yeah. He can't afford the lawyers to fight Sony.
Yeah, and nobody.
Who can? Who can?
And it's a pretty good meal ticket. Like you're Kevin Butler, one of the favorite Sony mascots.
Yeah.
Lambert is still also able to portray the Kevin Butler character with Sony's permission. Sony hasn't been using the character since the lawsuit started, so it's unknown if the company would be receptive to starting the campaign again. But they should be.
Yes,
They
they
should.
should.
It's amazing.
So, I'm glad this lawsuit is over, and I'm glad it settled in a still kind of crazy and kind of dumb way. But
Yeah.
it would be nice to have Kevin Butler back, because it's one of the very few successful Sony campaigns.
Yeah, that's not psychotic.
Yeah, like between that and the Ratchet and Clank real-life commercials,
I miss those so much.
Those were so great.
besides that, there aren't too many really great commercials that came out of Sony that aren't weird and uncomfortable.
No,
Yeah.
come on. The Crash, the guy in the suit in the Crash Bandicoot costume,
Yeah, that's true.
was awesome.
A guy
Those
in
were
that
good.
big foam suit.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. All right, we need to keep clipping since we've been recording forever.
Yep.
3 more news stories here. DOA 5 Plus for the Vita coming out March 19th. This wouldn't be that interesting except for these 4 cool things they did. Crossplay, across PS3 and Vita. Check.
Cool.
Cross goods, shared DLC between the consoles. Yes.
That is amazing.
Good choice.
Yes.
Cross save. Share your save between PS3 and Vita. So if you have all the characters and costumes and modes unlocked on the PS3, you also have it on the Vita. So
It's
kudos
the
to
future.
you.
for glad for Team Ninja. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's well
Good,
done, guys.
good job, guys. And the last one, which is interesting, not a great feature, but it's kind of dumb and interesting, is new touch control fighting. In first or third person, you can touch an enemy and you'll punch or kick them in that part, or turn your Vita, right side up, and you'll enter first person fighting. You can.
What?
That sounds insane.
It's kind of crazy looking, but it's kind of fun to see Team Ninja
This
poking and prodding.
this is just Team Ninja getting back to form. They're like, can we do something crazy? Let's do something crazy.
Yeah, can we do something stupid that the hardware's not supposed to do? Yeah,
That no
Okay.
one's going to care about, but
Yeah, nobody's ever going to use
Let's
it,
see.
but it's
Let's
dumb.
see if this even works. I don't know. They made Ninja Gaiden work for the DS.
That's true.
That was so much fun.
Yeah, it could be
Such a
weirder,
good
but
game.
good on Team Ninja for saying, "Look, we're going to release a Vita game of a PS3 game, and you can just play with everyone and download all your stuff. Why not? Why shouldn't you be able to?"
This
So-
is how crossplay should be done. Period. Every
Yep.
time. This should just be the standard.
Yep, use the cloud. That's what it's there for.
Yep.
All right, second to last news story here. Pandora's Tower coming to spring 2013. The least popular, least successful of the Operation Rainfall games is going to be coming to the Wii from Xseed. So apparently that game isn't super great. But at least it's coming out. Thank you, Xseed. And the last
Operation
news
Rainfall.
story here, the biggest and most surprising one, is Disney Infinity announced. Basically, it's Disney Skylanders. So, if
Yeah.
That hasn't happened yet.
no,
Oh,
surprisingly,
no, this is it.
and this is it, and this is probably going to be really big. So basically, each play set will come with a Disney character's storyline. So they're defining a playset as basically a movie. You know, it's either Monsters Inc. or Cars or Pirates of the Caribbean or The Little Mermaid or whatever. And basically it'll come with that character and their storyline in it.
Mm-hmm.
Then in Toy Box mode, you can mix and match characters. So you can have, like, Sully wandering around with Belle from Beauty and the Beast.
Yep.
And when you create a Toy Box universe, you can then share that online. So all of that seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because Skylanders has done really well, and the first Skylanders game is apparently a pretty good game for kids. And it's cool that you can just put that little thing on that power pad. That's kind of neat.
Yeah.
And it's also going to make Disney a lot of money because the starter set runs for $75. And it's a base and 3 figures with his Sully from Monsters Inc., Mr. Incredible from The Incredibles, and Captain Jack Sparrow.
This is insane because this combines the brand power of Disney with the collectability of something like Hero Clicks or Magic the Gathering with a video game. This is
it's a trifecta.
Yeah, you're checking all check boxes here.
It's as pure as Walter White's meth. Like that's
Dude, I want to use Mr. Incredible in the Tron universe.
We
might get a good Tron game out of this.
Yeah. It's like Kingdom Hearts, but without a crazy storyline.
Yeah.
But that's all of our news stories. Let's take a break.
Break. Oh. That Disney thing is just, they're going to rake in money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's no way this thing will lose. With that being said, it's going to fail.
I don't think it will.
I don't think it will.
No, there's no chance in hell it'll fail.
Because non-gamers are going to buy this just to collect the figures.
I don't think it's going to do as well as Skylanders did, because if it would have come first, it would have been making Skylanders money. But I think it'll do okay.
I don't know. I think you guys are underestimating the pure brand power of Disney's stable of characters.
That's why I think it'll do okay.
Yeah.
I don't think parents are willing to spend the money on more Skylanders, which is what they're going to see it as.
I don't know, man. I see Skylander stands.
I see it as a whole separate market. People. I think Skylanders isn't okay. You're opening it up to the female market is effectively what I'm trying to say here.
Well, that's
Skylanders. You're gonna have the little girls going after the Disney princess stuff because that's how Disney markets their stuff.
You hit both kid genders.
Yes, and it kind of doubles your market.
Girls and kids.
No, both kid genders. Somebody's gonna sue you someday.
Eventually, it's a matter of time.
But I think we're probably underestimating adults too, because there are those crazy Disney fans that are probably going. They have the disposable income to buy every single thing.
Yeah, and still go to Disney World twice that year.
And I can't wait to see this on Hoarders.
Yeah, I have all the Disney.
My Skylanders collection. It fills a room.
It's all the Disney Infinity characters.
I have all the figures in this room and all the boxes and cover art in the other one.
They're all my little friends.
It's perfectly acceptable.
Yeah.
Look, I've got 90,000 of these little glowing pads.
It's all very organized, I swear.
If you're buying that many, I doubt it's organized.
Yeah. Well, this box has cars in it.
Yay!
Hooray!
All right. Now that that's over.
All right. Let's kick this last segment out. We actually only have one email and no tweets. So
all right.
Cool. Let's burn through this. All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk about emails.
Emails.
Or email in this case.
Yeah.
Rob, aka Poke Chop Salad, writes in and says, I was wondering if any of you have played any of these games. Number 1 is Dragon's Dogma. I have not.
Oh, no. I missed that one.
That has been on my I'll get it eventually list for a while, but I haven't touched it.
Me too.
Same thing.
Sonic All-Star Racing Transformed. Unfortunately not yet, because I loved that first one.
No, I haven't played it.
Nope.
Tokyo Jungle. I bought it. I have not yet played it.
I don't even know what that is.
That's the one where you start as a Pomeranian, right?
Yeah, you do.
I don't like Pomeranians. I'm out.
No, it's a flock of Pomeranians taking out deer.
Yeah,
it's
I gotta
amazing. I can't wait to play this game. It is just... Or you can be dogs, or you can be alligators, or you can be whatever, and just taking down others. God, it looks so good. He says, I bring these up because I rant and rave about them. I don't remember if you guys have played them. I've been a listener for 2 years, and from what you guys like, I think they have things that would get your attention. Yeah, I think all three of us would like all three of these games.
Probably.
Dragon's Dogma is just like old RPGs in that there's no hand-holding, no guideline, no compass, just a mini-map and a regular one. And it has a Mystic Archer that has 20-bolt homing lock-on attack similar to the Child of Eden multi-lock.
I'm in.
Oh, yeah.
Oof, that sounds good.
Also, PSA for anybody thinking about getting this game, get the Starter and Treasure Hunter DLC packs. I have daggers that glow brighter as I near a chest.
That
That sounds
worth it.
incredibly helpful.
It sounds very useful. Knobs, 5 words for Sonic All-Star Racing Transformed. Afterburner and Shinobi tracks.
Alright, I'm in.
There you go. Tokyo Jungle, I took a hippo down with a pack of 5 beagles. Enough said.
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
There's no way a hippo would lose that fight.
In Tokyo Jungle. Oh, yeah.
Hippopotamus? No,
Hippopotamus.
the hippo is one of the most dangerous animals on the planet.
I know. That's what makes Tokyo Jungle so amazing and dumb. It is a pure Japanese game.
I love I'm getting so angry about it.
Yeah, how dare you, video games? Be more
It's
realistic.
a hippo!
Anyways, keep up the awesome job and making my days feel a bit shorter. Thank you very
welcome.
much, Rob, for writing in. And
We just made it
everybody
2
else.
hours shorter.
Yes. Yeah, this has been very long. But that's all of our emails and tweets this week. If you want to visit us, please do so at tvgp.tv. Email us at tvgpfans@gmail.com. Tweet us at tvgp and find us somewhere on Facebook. All the links are on the right-hand side of the page.
Join the forums. Don't forget to mark yourself on the map as an off-topic. And join us for Monday Night Game Night tonight at 10 p.m. EST. It's Left 4 Dead 2. More people, more welcome. I'll do better trying to get some broken English here about putting a tweet or some sort of notification because I'm just awful at social media.
Well,
Fair enough.
I am too, so don't
And
feel
don't
so
forget
bad
to watch the live stream every week.
That's right.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen.
Twitch.tv/E1M1 Network. There's links and info. I put on the right-hand side of the page what time that is in UTC, and I put a calculator for what time zone that is for you. So thank you for listening. We'll see you all next week.
Laters.
Peace.
I only have one title.
I have like several, so
right,
you
why
guys
don't
want
you-
me to just go down my list.
Yeah, why don't you go down your list? Everybody in chat, feel free to pop your titles into.
All right, so I've got Fivesome, the metagame, if you will, Pyrocaustic.
I also have
Monsters to the
Pyrocaustic.
left, Monsters to the left, Heroes to the right. Pig in My Party. Don't Buy That Game. Fisticuffs. Spoiler alert, they're really good. And Brand Confusion.
I kind of like Pyrocaustic.
I'm kind of a fan of that one myself because it's a nice portmanteau.
Yeah.
I really
Alright.
think that's what he's called. Pyrocaustic Pyropete.
Nice. Well, it covers all your bases.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 274 for January 21st, 2013. Pyrocaustic.
Infinity Pistol. Boom.
Melting.
All right, go ahead and stop your recording, gents.
Stop.
To everyone watching the live stream, we are going to take probably about a 10-15 minute break here to let our voices recover, and we will be back with a Walking Dead spoiler cast.
Spoilers.
So we are spoiling everything. So if you do not want The Walking Dead spoiled, don't leave now.
274?
274. Don't upload it to Dropbox yet because we still have to record stuff.
Okie dokie.
So we'll be right back in a little bit. Bye, everyone.